Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. Is there any better time than summer grilling season for a cold Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke in a can. Born for the backyard. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Ship snappers moving from Kensington to Delco?
My uncle used to sell his gallstones at the Bazaar of All Nations out on Baltimore Pike. Had a nice establishment here, 3 different dart teams and 4 leagues, video poker, and hard-boiled eggs, pickled eggs. We keep them right out on the bar there.
See Joe Conklin in Delco at the Media Theater with the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, November 16th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com!
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-6608. 800-515-6608. 800-515-6608.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, big issues, big guests. Welcome in, everyone. What a start to the week. Ben Carson will be here at 12:30, but thanks to Dan and the people over at Trump Communications, we have a guy who's made as much news as anybody out there, Senator J.D. Vance. Of course, the attacks have been legendary. Without further ado, let's welcome back to Philadelphia, Senator Vance.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, you're speaking today in North Philly over on Indiana Avenue. What are you talking about, and what kind of place are you at?
Well, we're visiting a company there, and we're going to talk about 2 important issues, both to that company but also to the country at large, which is manufacturing and energy. You can't manufacture without low-cost power. You can't build things in America without low-cost energy. And also we have a Harris administration that even today is pursuing policies that make energy unaffordable for our businesses and unaffordable for our consumers. You know, the final point I'll make there is that, I grew up in a poor family where we sometimes struggled to heat our homes or to pay the utility bills. We have utility bills that are 30% higher under the Harris administration thanks to the policies they've pursued. We've got to get back to some common sense, which will make energy and everything else more affordable for the everyday American.
Well, common sense, I think we'll agree, will be in short supply at the DNC convention. Case in point, yesterday the protests started, which are going to be enormous and not following the law, apparently. And Senator Vance, a VP nominee, there were feminist LGBTQ groups leading the charge. Obviously, groups that Hamas would be supporting, right?
Yeah, there's a certain irony, isn't there, in the Democratic Party's embrace of Hamas on the one hand, with their embrace of a very radical social agenda that would not exactly be welcome on the streets of Gaza, right? This is the massive blind spot that I think these pro-Hamas protesters have. You sometimes see, these organizations. It'll be, gays for Gazans or something like that. And, Benjamin Netanyahu famously said that's kind of like, chickens for KFC. These are not people, meaning the Hamas leadership, who would at all welcome the far-left members of the Democratic Party, but they've embraced them because the Democratic Party today is not so much a group of pro-American leaders. It's a sort of smorgasbord of different ideologies that sometimes are in very sharp contrast. And this is why I think the Democratic Convention this week could become extremely volatile and maybe even violent, because you have a lot of people who would just like to lie about Kamala Harris's record and pretend it's going to bring down costs for Americans. And we want to talk about Hamas and about Kamala Harris's disastrous foreign policy, it's going to be interesting to see if they can bury that conflict beneath the surface. If they do, it'll be, I think, very unexpected.
Yeah, in fact, Senator, I know you're traveling, doing a speech day, et cetera, but the allegation out there today, I wanted to get your reaction. The mayor of Chicago, to me, I've been in Philadelphia all my life, is the epitome of what happens when progressives take over. The Hamas supporting group among these protesters is given the front position to be in front of the convention center. That's out there this morning.
Well, and it's interesting, too, that what the Democrats have to do here is they have to find some way of persuading a lot of voters in Michigan that they are pro-Hamas, whereas they have to convince a lot of voters nationwide that they are pro-Israel or pro-Jewish American. And that's a very, very hard line for them to toe. And if you actually look at the policy of the Biden administration, Kamala Harris says she wants the war in Israel to be over quickly. Well, all of us want that, and yet they pursued a series of policies that actually prolong the conflict and prolong the killing rather than enable Israel to take out Hamas into the organization as quickly as possible and then actually build a long-term peace in the Middle East. If you were to try to pursue a policy that maximized civilian casualties and also maximized Israel's danger, you would do exactly what Kamala Harris is doing. It doesn't make any sense, but again, so much of what Kamala Harris does doesn't make an ounce of sense.
We're talking with Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance. Senator, college campuses, University of Pennsylvania was one of the hotbeds of what went on last time. I'm monitoring. There's going to be protests / potential encampments or a school strike, hundreds of universities. Give us a sense in the mind of J.D. Vance. Where's the line? You went to Yale, for example. I went to LaSalle here locally. Where's the line of legitimate protest versus crossing that line in your mind?
Well, I think it's very simple. I mean, obviously, even if you disagree with somebody's viewpoint, they have the right to express that viewpoint. But when they cross the line is when it becomes violent or when it interrupts students from enjoying campus life or when they turn our campuses and our public spaces into garbage dumps with these tent cities that violate the law, right? The law is very clear. You're allowed to protest, but you're not allowed to set up tent encampments. You're not allowed to, litter and turn our public spaces into garbage dumps, and you're not allowed to harass or commit violence against other students. And what's so telling about these campus protests is they have consistently crossed the line, and the membership of these universities, the leadership of these universities has shown no leadership in actually forcing people to just follow the basic law. Look, don't harass your fellow students. Don't commit violence.
Senator, let me interrupt and say
hard.
They would say, what would you do? What would you do? I know what I would do, but you're the guy that's running for vice president and is a senator, so my response might be different. What would you do? What should they do on college campuses?
Well, look, I think clear them up, arrest people who are committing violence against other students. If you set up a tent encampment, you get an order to clear it up, and if you don't clear it up, then you face consequences for it. I actually think it's very simple law enforcement. For some reason, we have treated some of these kids as if they should have special rights when all they have to do is follow the law, express your viewpoints, criticize Israel if you want, praise Israel if you want, but you have to follow the law.
Senator, do you feel like you're back maybe a high school campaign, the plagiarism? You're the victim of it now, President Trump, the mean girl tactics on the other side. Does this feel more like high school campaigning?
Well, it certainly feels like high school campaigning in the sense that Kamala Harris doesn't talk to the media, is terrified of actually articulating a positive vision for this country, has no real policies. And in that sense, it's a high school campaign because if you're running for president of the United States, you should have to stand before the American people and actually solicit their vote. Now, it is hysterical that we will say something on the campaign trail, either President Trump or me, and then 3 or 4 days later, the Kamala Harris campaign will copy it. I joke that in 4 days, she's going to campaign on building the wall and making America great again because she clearly doesn't have any ideas. She's just listing them all from our campaign. But the more important point here is that her entire agenda has been about bowing to the far left wing of her party. She wants to ban fracking, ban offshore drilling. She wants to stop the production of manufactured goods in our country and ship all of our manufacturing jobs to China. She has, on every single issue, pursued the most left-wing answer to our problems, and that includes things like defunding the police. You know, if you look at Kamala Harris's record, she was a prosecutor in California at a time of skyrocketing crime, at a time when the drug cartels were taking over the state of California. She wants to take those policies nationwide, and the question for the American people is, do we want to let her? And I think most Americans are smart enough to say no.
Yeah, absolutely. All the VP nominees I've had the privilege to talk to over the years say they want to be the last one in the room before big moments with the president. Give us a sense of your relationship with President Trump as far as areas of advice that he comes to you on. I know we couldn't ask for word by word, that'd be improper, but give us a sense of your role as VP. You'll have your own agenda, I'm sure, executing for the president, but the advice part of that.
Well, you know, one of the things I admire about the president is that he takes advice from everybody. I mean, he'll ask the gardener as one of his properties. He'll ask the vice president of the United States. He asks everybody what they think about issues. I think it's one of his special skills because he actually wants to understand where everybody comes down on an issue before he makes a decision. I think one of the most important things I can do for the president is just serve, like you said, as a counselor who's the last person in the room, but actually looks out for his interests, because I think the president's interests, once he becomes fundamentally the interests of the United States, when he makes a decision that makes us all prosper, then he benefits politically, of course, from that decision. So I think it's important for me to provide counsel that ensures the president is protected, that he's doing the right thing, of course, and that he's going to make decisions that are in the best interest of the country. Because when he prospers, when the country prospers, I think the president will prosper too.
Absolutely. Parting question for you, Senator Vance. I'm from South Philly. I'm very proud of that. Here in our area, you were in South Philly recently. You know, it's a marker, different than other places maybe. I really went off when the governor of Kentucky, this one-man campaign, to try to take away from you, your heritage, where you came from, some of the pain of that, how you came through. And I think saying that you mock or somehow or another don't support those people that you came from. And I just wanted to give you a chance, because I know it's hardball politics, but that to me is not someplace I would go in a campaign.
You know, I don't really care or think much about the governor of Kentucky. He had to apologize for some of the things that he said because he got blowback from the citizens of his own state. So I don't think much about him. What I do think is we have a leadership that I think looks down on normal Americans. They look down on their values. They look down on the fact that they want, normal people want to send their kids to schools where the kids get an education and not an indoctrination. Most people just want to wake up, go to work, live their lives, have enough prosperity so they can support their kids in some comfort. And I do think that a big chunk of our leadership class actively looks down on the citizens of our country. I want to be the kind of leader that makes our citizens feel heard, that makes them believe that they have somebody who cares about them and wants to make their lives more prosperous and more secure. And if the Democrats are going to attack me for that, let them, because I'm going to be the vice president for everybody, and I'm going to remember where I came from in every decision I make.
Enjoy Philadelphia. I know you'll be over there at the facility today at 1 o'clock over in North Philly on, I believe, 1800 Indiana Avenue. Senator, Godspeed. Please come back again. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks. We'll be back quite a bit. Appreciate it.
All right, Dan, you got that last part. We'll be back quite a bit. Let him sit in here. Yeah, there you go. Let's set up a facility here whenever he wants to come on. All right, a lot in that interview. Love to get your reaction. Again, thanks to Dan, along with the Trump people, making that happen with J.D. Vance in Philadelphia today over in Indiana Avenue at about 1 o'clock. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. And you heard what he said about college campuses, garbage dumps. That's exactly what this is. That's exactly what the left is about, trashing stuff. What he said about normal Americans, what they want, prosperity, something for their kids, safety, those kinds of things. And when we watch the Democrat convention already operational yesterday and today, are we seeing that joy there? What we're seeing is offering abortions right there in some van they have parked, boarded up buildings, and 100,000 of the mob, hell-bent to support Hamas. I mean, that's joy. That's what their pitch is of joyful. Is the media going to be able to spin that? when they see what this party brings to Chicago, what Chicago's about. A lot of fencing, wall, if you will. Have to have ID to get in, and it's not just right at the convention center. It's all over the place. All right, phone lines, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210. I think J.D. Vance has found his voice with Walz in the race. It's going to be a heck of a debate with that buffoon when it happens. And again, the attack that got me the most is this trying to take away where he came from. You know, everybody has a right to that kind of story. And when you try to diminish that in the way that Bashir has done, a guy whose father put him in as governor of Kentucky versus a guy who came up the hard way, they just don't want to hear that because that's the American story. They don't want to believe that people actually do that in the manner that J.D. Vance did. 855-839-1210. We're going to talk with Ben Carson, but coming up, in honor of J.D. Vance, I will give you the side question. I think it's a pretty broad one. We've kind of talked several times, Dan and I, about this. I think you'll enjoy it and come up with some good ones. We'll have that to get your name in the hat to start off. But give me a reaction to J.D. Vance. 855-839-1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Tom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Sunday storms in the area caused flooding, knocked down trees, and created issues at the airport. The Philly School District Superintendent says student test scores are improving, but he still wants to see more progress. And the Sixers fix up a basketball court in Camden and promise more renovations to come.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. Give you the side question in a moment. Just heard from J.D. Vance, 855-839-1210. Looking at an Inquirer piece, how extraordinarily challenging the Secret Service feels it is to guard Donald Trump. Oh, my God.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, just unbelievable. Yeah, well, I guess if you're completely incompetent, it's got to be a bit of a challenge. All right, so J.D. Vance, we kind of switched our side topic today. You can go many ways with this. Hit us with someone who, like J.D., uses the initials, like DJ Giordano.
Hey!
Turned around, there you go, I'll put his name in. Or you can hit us with someone, if you say a category and you give us the initials. Well, there's only one person. Be careful with that one.
Yeah.
The judges will be tough. If you say religion and you say JC, is there any doubt?
Nope.
I think if you say JC in general, there might not be any doubt. If you say
John Cena?
There you go. If you say sports, particularly basketball, and you say MJ, well, you know who you're talking about.
Michael Jackson?
If you say talk radio and you say DJG, you know who you're talking about. If you say producing and you say DB,
I don't know. Michael Jordan's a great one, though.
Yeah,
really is.
MJ. Yeah. How about yours, Dan?
Well, question for you. If I tell you football and I say LT, are you talking LaDainian Tomlinson?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, so don't mess up and say, well, LaDainian Tomlinson.
How about the world of America and presidents LBJ?
LBJ, JFK.
And someone that uses initials but not known for them. How about ZZ Top?
Very good one.
Yeah.
All right, so there's tons of them in honor of J.D. Vance, who we just had on. 855-839-1210. Hit us with that at the end of your call. By the way, speaking of names, I should work this in so I don't forget. Over the weekend, I got a couple of texts from people concerned because Frank Rizzo, you know how they took the statue away? We're working where the statue, I'm on the committee where the statue is going to be put ultimately. And it's a work in progress. I don't know when it'll be decided. But over the weekend, PennDOT saying they have to do something to ensure the safety of 95 South.
Let me tell you something.
It gives us a chance to play all those. Rizzo named a very famous hockey rink after his dad, Ralph Rizzo Hockey Rink. And, Dan, if you can imagine, it's underneath 95. So there's drainage on it. There's all kinds of wild animals over the years. But it's almost free for kids to learn hockey, play hockey at a pretty advanced level.
Pretty cool thing.
They've had the Flyers over there. They do all kinds of stuff. It's a great community asset. Well, now, PennDOT saying at some point they're going to have to close that and relocate it as they do work on 95.
Get away from me, you crumb.
The problem is, one guy told me, I bet my paycheck they will not put the Rizzo name back on it. So now, even before this
You're
starts...
going to have a hell of a story on that one.
Yeah, there you go. Even before this starts, you got people saying, wait a minute, the Rizzo name is going to stay on that. It's the father. How low can you be? Well, you know, the mob in Philadelphia, they don't want anything with Rizzo on it. Is anathema. So we're already on that story. We'll see what happens. In other words, if they relocate it because of the stuff with 95, would they keep the name? You know how these people, and the significance of them wanting to tear stuff down, like the Rizzo statue, like anything with Rizzo on it. And now it would be the father. Something that has done great work for the community over the years. People have dedicated their lives. One guy there, 30 years. Running the hockey programs.
You're a crumb, creep, lush coward.
Oh, that was a bad timing.
That's okay.
Really great guy that did that.
Yeah. How would you even consider it? Well, people already look at this. They know how it is. It's like Columbus. It's Rizzo. It's any of those names. All right. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. Hit us on the initial thing that we just mentioned. You heard J.D. Vance in town. All eyes on the DNC convention. But my summation, since it happened just at the end of the show on Friday, Kamala Harris comes out, the first time we see a policy agenda, and she was talking about price fixing. So all the big Democrats over the weekend, the big Gretch, Whitmer, Bashir, the guy from Kentucky, they all come out, and what do they say? Well, they all come out and say, well, all she means is, I think I have one of these here. I think I have Bashir. They're saying she doesn't mean price fixing. Well, that's what she was talking about. Here is, here's the governor of Kentucky on yesterday on this is CNN talking about what she really means by this. Yeah, cut 7 on CBS. Here's what Bashir said about price gouging.
This isn't about trying to price fix. It's just making sure that the economy is operating the way it should, that this is really supply and demand, which we all respect.
Okay, let's stop right
different than
there. Just, I wouldn't even let the guy go on there. I give him maybe 8 to 10 seconds out of deference. Then you're going to say, we're going to talk, buddy, one thing here. What's the benchmark? When do we know when this is out of line and you have to jump in and do something. And by the way, she wasn't talking just about price gouging. She called it gauging. She was also talking about fixing the prices. All right, he continues.
The economy is operating the way it should, that this is really supply and demand, which we all respect. It's no different than what Teddy Roosevelt did in breaking up monopolies. It's just making sure we have the right regulations and tools in place to make sure everybody is playing the game fairly and by the rules.
Okay, let's stop there. Now, Dan, you love the Sherman Antitrust Act.
I sure do, dog.
You know, as many times with these Democrats, as many times as we go through this, we already have the laws. The host should have said, are you talking the Sherman Antitrust Act and the like? Why didn't we enforce them for 3.5 years?
Yep.
They didn't ask that question. Every Sunday show, all they had to do is say, I hear your case. I hear what you do. Why didn't you do that before this? What's the reason? Political or otherwise. They would have no answer. So if it's a trust-busting thing, a monopoly in other words, okay, Sherman Antitrust Act, we already have that, and we shouldn't have monopolies. But what's the line? Never do progressives want to talk specifics.
You got to draw it out too, hosts, because if you have this Sherman Antitrust Act, right, usually it's utilized by Congress and senators, which it hasn't been, to preemptively break up mergers, because you have two parties that you can say, hey, look, these are your companies. Right. If you use it retroactively, you're breaking a company up into two separate, multiple different pieces, and who gets parts of pieces of what? And does it become the federally controlled portion of AT&T? Right. Like where does that stand? So you got to push it further. If we use the Sherman antitrust laws retroactively, what's going to happen?
Well, the Pritzker guy came on. You know, guy's head is a battering ram, right? And he's going on and on the same line, Dan. All the hosts had to do is to say, okay, average American, why stop here going after Big Pharma or whatever? How about Big Hotel? Now, he's a billionaire because he's the heir somehow or another to the Hyatt. Is the Hyatt over Pritzker?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is the Hyatt, are their prices in line? What's the benchmark? I don't know. I think the Hyatt's probably high end. What are they charging? You know, are they $50 over a night? Tell us. What should we do, Pritzker? What in the world goes on with these people that they can't? They have a guy who's an heir to that kind of fortune. With something, I would say you can control hotel rates a lot better than the price of eggs in every store across America, but I don't think you could do it even with hotel rates. How do I know what factors go into what Hyatt charges in Philadelphia versus Atlanta?
Huh.
I don't know what's going on.
Weird. It's strange. There's a Hyatt right in Rittenhouse Square down there. $240 a night for a night in October. Right across the street, there's a, what's this one? This is a Warwick Hotel. It's almost $80 cheaper, Dom.
There you go. Huh. Is Hyatt that much better? You know, you could ask Pritzker. I'm not going to be talking about that. Well, then shut up. What are you talking about here? So we're supposed to believe Hyatt charging $80 more, as Dan just said, across in the Warwick as a benchmark. How do we know they're $80 more that they should? Well, you have competition. You can go somewhere else. Well, people can do the same thing here. Oh, no, they can't. This is different. And he's a billionaire. By the way, speaking of which, the Inquirer glowing piece on Bruce Springsteen over the weekend. Dan, I thought I sent it to you. Maybe it was just, it was just in print.
The Waltz, I got that clip.
Oh, you have that? Yeah, I know. I've been waiting all weekend. Here he is, cut 13, when they're interviewing each other. That's the latest. Walls and Kamala Harris. Here's what Walls said when asked his musical taste.
What's your relationship to music?
Yeah. For me, the transformational piece of music was Bruce Springsteen's The River.
There you go. Yeah, good.
You know all
Good
the
vote
tracks,
for this guy.
and I'm that guy. My first car, it's the summer 1980, been saving up. I buy a 1973 orange Chevy Camaro. Got an 8-track player in it.
Oh, wow.
Previous owner left, Bob Seger's Nightmares.
Oh, wow.
I listen to it, and it's kind of the soundtrack of my life of Detroit's own Bob Seger. But what's really great about this is
relatability. Here we go.
I have a 79 International as my car. It's got an 8-track player in it. I have the very 8-track to this day.
You're kidding me.
No, but how about you?
I grew up, so all these albums here. I mean, Aretha. My mother had every Aretha album.
There's like 30 seconds more.
All right, that's enough. But so the Inquirer does a piece and says that Springsteen, Dan, only became Springsteen. He couldn't take Ronald Reagan not getting his number one, his anthem, if you will, was not about Ronald Reagan's America, Born to Run. It was not about what he thought. It was about the American dream. And then they quote Springsteen saying, yeah, I wonder why some people think they can be a billionaire and everybody else doesn't have the dignity of a decent living. Wait a minute here. Who's a billionaire? I'm sorry, Born in the USA was the dispute, not Born to Run.
This is the one that has the dressage-doing daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
The
All
most
across
expensive
Europe.
sports a person can do.
But big article in the Inquirer. The irony of it. I mean, that's what it is. It's fraudulent about this guy. No one denies making a... Stop living off the same stories, though, that have nothing to do with you. And blaming Ronald Reagan for kind of... that made him political.
So safe to assume, Dom, you will not be going to see him Wednesday night?
Oh, that's right. Wednesday night.
And
yes.
Friday, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, doing 2 shows.
And where is he? Citizens Bank?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Avoid that area.
Yeah, I was offered tickets, Dom.
I know you were, and you're a man of your word. You turned it down.
Well, it's one of those I've always said, if I were offered tickets, maybe I'd consider going to see, and I actually had the opportunity face me this time around, and it was thanks but no thanks.
All right, Dan, I can verify.
Maybe if it wasn't a weeknight. There you go. That's my excuse.
Dan, I can verify, did not pick up on that. Did not take the tickets. All right, that's good. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Hit us on the side question. Initials of one sort or another in honor of J.D. Vance. You heard Vance here in town, and I think he's found his voice as a campaigner. Now, yesterday he did say, and they're on him for this, that, well, here we have the cut of it. Here's J.D. Vance saying that Kamala Harris' control over inflation is like somebody else in human trafficking.
The American people just don't buy the idea that Kamala Harris, who's been vice president for 3.5 years, is somehow going to tackle the inflation crisis in a way tomorrow that she hasn't for the past 1,300 days. Giving Kamala Harris control over inflation policy, Shannon, it's like giving Jeffrey Epstein control over human trafficking policy. The American people are much smarter than that. They don't buy the idea that Kamala Harris represents a fresh start. She is more of the same. It is doubling down on the failed policies of the Harris administration to give Kamala Harris a promotion rather than to fire her, which is what I think most Americans are going to do on November.
All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. The great Dr. Ben Carson coming up next. Hey, I've told you for years about my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. He's known for helping people overcome fear, anxiety. It is truly a state-of-the-art facility, making dentistry very easy for him and then for you. My recent experience, great example, the small things. I had a permanent tooth put in, and in the past, fixing it, shaving it down, bite, jump, none of that. Put it in, bang, you're out of there. It's his skill, his staff, and it's the 3D printer and the artisans who work on your teeth to make it right, convenient, and feeling good the first time around. That's the Bentz Dental Group. Find them at Bentz Dental Group, BENTZ dentalgroup.com, or call them for that appointment today, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them, not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Monday, more rain possible with a high of 84. And on Tuesday, we're only going to get up to 75.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. No pill's gonna kill my
Big week here on Talk Radio 1210. We heard from J.D. Vance. Coming up, too, Josh Shapiro is in the Windy City attacking President Trump on anti-Semitism.
Oh, really?
Hey, Josh, go outside and say hello to those 100,000 protesters. See what they say
Look
to
at
you.
your own party, my friend.
My God, yeah. She never brought up anti-Semitism with me. She didn't have to bring it up. I'll give you the details. Inquirers gushing. Way to go, Josh. Get it, Trump. Joining us, though, is somebody who's been through those wars. Dr. Ben Carson back with us here in Philadelphia on Talk Radio 1210. Dr. Ben, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Always good to be with you.
Well, Dr. Ben, what's in the forefront of your mind campaign-wise right now as we look at the DNC?
Well, the DNC, of course, is interested in deceiving people into making people believe not what their eyes have seen and not what their ears have heard, not what they've experienced, but what the story is that is fed to them. And, some of them will buy it. There's no question about it. One of the things that happens in a country before it becomes socialist is they dumb the population down. So you have to have people who are gullible enough to actually believe what the things that you're telling them, even though those are not the things that they see and hear and experience. That's what's going on.
Exactly. Vice President Harris particularly, it's hard to know because whether she's actually a socialist or she feels that's the way to get ahead in the party. But when we knew we had you on today, her most recent comments trying to deny that she wants socialized medicine. She wants the government. Somebody like you who's been in the center of this to universal acclaim, Obamacare, and even Obama didn't go that far, Dr. Ben. What would happen in that situation if we went even further?
Well, we would wind up like all the other countries. I mean, you don't even have to go far away. Go to Canada, right next door to us. Mm-hmm. People of means in Canada come here to have things done, not only because of quality issues, but because of the length of time that it takes to actually be taken care of. And we would find ourselves in the exact same situation. And, I hope our people are smart enough to realize that. You look at England and the system that they have there, you have something like needing a hip replacement. You may be on the list for 6 months to 2 years before you can get your hip replaced. And by that time, something else has happened to you. It just goes on and on and on, and that's the way it works anywhere else. And to believe that it would be any different here is foolishness.
Yeah, and I don't think we'd see anything. I don't see in these countries anything like you were able to achieve. Some of the operations, some of the things that you did. It's not just the day-to-day. It does not foster greatness. It does not foster doctors who advance medical science.
Well, socialism in general is about equity. Everything needs to be equal. depress the things that are superior and prop up the things that are inferior to get them all to the same level. That's not what made America into a great nation. Our exceptionalism comes from having exceptional people. And exceptional people developed in a system that allows them to thrive and doesn't push them back down.
Dr. Ben, the focus, it's hardly joyful. We have 100,000 protesters in Chicago, apparently wanting to attack Israel. But we also have Democrats setting up abortion-on-demand facilities there, which, you could be supportive of some kind of choice, something like that. But this is how radical it is. That's the thing they're advertising front and center.
Well, recognize that when you talk about our founding document, the Declaration of Independence, what does it say? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. Life is right up there up front, our respect for life from the womb to the tomb. And as we disrespect life, look what happens to our relationships with each other. Look how they're spiraling downward. Look how our unity is being destroyed in this country, which is the prerequisite to destroying the country itself. So all of these things are interlaced together. And it was when we had values and when we had a sense of community and brotherhood, that's when we stood strong. That's when we rose from nothing to the pinnacle of the world in record time.
On Friday, Vice President Harris, the first major, huge blunder that the media actually covered, the argument of Democrats over the weekend, Dr. Ben, was, well, she's not really serious about so-called price fixing, their words. She just wants, and this is the way to draw out the other side. We never get a benchmark. We never get a specific on how we could make a judgment on the other side of what we're talking about, because they can't win that argument.
Well, there's a reason that she's hiding away from the media. She doesn't want to be asked these questions. She doesn't want to be asked to explain anything. It's very clear that she has a limited understanding of economics, as do many of the people on the left side. They don't understand how things are interconnected. They don't understand how suppressing our oil and gas industry and decreasing our independence has a domino effect on the price of food, for instance. They can't understand any of that. And that's why we end up in these terrible situations. And, I just find it interesting that the economists love to say that we have cycles in our economy. It goes up and down like a sine wave. No, it doesn't. It goes up and down based on who's in office and whether they understand economic principles or not.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is, around the edges, outliers. Sure, there can be a minor thing there, but you're right. If it works, if these principles work, they will always work. As we head back to school, Dr. Ben, I've been thinking today, knowing you were on your work over the last couple of years, we've talked about with young children. You mentioned the Constitution, things of that nature. What are you up to right now? Are you still engaged in that?
Oh, yeah. Our Little Patriots program is growing like crazy. We just last week came out with the Pocket Constitution for Kids. Has beautiful little cartoon drawings in it, but it helps them to really understand the whole Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And it is growing and being accepted all over the country now, and particularly in home schools and private school settings. But, we're working in some public schools, too. There's some public schools where people haven't completely given up on logic and common sense. And you look at Louisiana and Oklahoma, where they're bringing back the Ten Commandments in the Bible. There's hope for our nation. As long as we cling to some of those principles and those values that made us into decent people, there's hope for us.
Well, every time we talk with you, we feel better about that. Keep up that work, Dr. Ben. Appreciate your thoughts today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Ben Carson here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Hit us your thoughts on initials that pop. Yeah, as I said, Planned Parenthood offering free abortions. I don't know if they do it in that van they have parked there. That'd be a nice touch. They have a park right, and vasectomies. I want to see how many of these guys are stepping up for a vasectomy while they're there. Oh, my God.
Oh, what an odd thing.
Yeah, right. And
what a weird thing.
Yeah, well, that's right. The word weird.
Sorry,
yeah, I resisted getting into that with J.D. Vance. I was more interested. It's a coalescing thing here. Dan's question was the one I think that got the most traction with him, which was, do you feel like you're in a high school campaign?
That's what it is.
Yeah, with the plagiarism, with the mean girl stuff. Yeah. That's Walt Walsh is more of a mean girl than anybody.
And the media is like the people who follow the mean girls, repeating like what they say positively after reporting negatively about it a week ago when JD says it. It's ridiculous.
But the plagiarism, all Harris did is saying, well, he said 5,000, I'm going to make it 6,000. I mean, he ought to say I'm making it 7. Well, he did say in that interview, yeah, we're going to build a border wall. We're going to build 2 of them. Walsh is over there right now. He's giving to legal migrants an 8-track to use. By the way, that's one of the things.
8-tracks all around.
Even the New York Times wrote about this, that if they get outside the convention guarded area, they'll see is how much illegal immigration has damaged Chicago. Now, it's hard to tell because dozens of people were shot just in the last couple of days in Chicago, which is usual. But the busloads coming from Texas, from Governor Abbott and others, they really did really make a difference as far as people rejecting this. In New York, they reject it. They have Cardinal Dolan lecturing them. In Chicago, it's the mayor who thinks, what's the problem here? And these are mainly African-American neighborhoods where this is going on. So that's still the go-to area for Republicans to come back to. How will this play out this week? They will riot. That's why the stores and everything else are boarded up. And on the Magnificent Mile, I've only been to Chicago once, and we didn't go to the Magnificent Mile, so I don't have firsthand knowledge of it. But it's like, I don't know where around here. I used to say parts of Walnut Street, but they got, in a riot here, they got messed up. So I'm not sure. It's even more upscale than that. It's walled in. They put up giant fencing in there now.
What?
Yeah. Plus, around the convention, it's miles and miles of fencing. And it's not just cheap fencing. They're anchored into concrete. And, of course, you need ID to get in. You put all that together. Why would we not do that as a country? I mean, it is hypocritical every single time this happens.
It's like closing down the parkway, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it could be like. Yeah. I'm trying to think, where's the most lavish shopping? It's not Suburban Square here.
It's probably Walnut. Like
I think it's Walnut
district.
Yeah.
Not the actual fashion district, but like the.
Yeah, not the Burlington Coat Factory district. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
the Old Navy Outlet district.
Yeah, the one where they threw the piano into the street. Not that. Yeah, that's the one. That's the highest.
Like near
place.
Rittenhouse Square, almost.
Yeah, row avoidance. We're never going in that area. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. Get your reaction to J.D. Vance. Hit us on the side question, too. Coming up, Josh Shapiro in Chicago, undaunted, attacking President Trump because the Democrat Party's anti-Semitic. And he's not going to take hearing that from Trump. How dare he? Straight ahead with Dom, Talk Radio 1210.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
Hey, you. I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chances of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful to both recovery and mental health. To learn more, visit tobaccofreerecoverypa.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Public Health.
Is your kitchen or bathroom in need of a makeover?
It's time to transform your home into a personal oasis with Emmons Remodeling.
Our expert team specializes in kitchen and bathroom renovations, creating beautiful, functional spaces you and your family will love. We handle everything from design to installation.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the start of another school year. Get your child or grandchild started off right. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now is the time to call Kathy Ganna and help get your child out of the gate strong. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
I'm just fine.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Dan told me during the break that I noticed that Phil Donahue sadly passed away at the age of 88. I did. And Dan, I was just going back in my files. I once debated Phil Donahue on my show. I think it was over the issue of being a Catholic. I don't know how we got him on that. But,
really?
Oh, man, it was nuts. I was on at 6 o'clock at night then. Now, he wasn't.
But he is Catholic himself.
Well, allegedly, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the heyday of Donahue, but it was.
What were the sides of the argument then?
I forget what he was in the news for. What he had said that I was it got really nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like where we didn't play commercials for the whole first 30 minutes
those
type
are
of
always
stuff.
the great interviews, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what sprung it loose. I'll have to go back and try to. I don't know if you Googled if it'll come up. And he was taking no prisoners. It wasn't the Donahue you used to see on TV. The all-time Donahue to me, he had on Joe Clark. You probably don't remember him. He was a principal. He was the superintendent, or principal, I guess. Yeah, principal, Eastside High School. A film was made about him in Paterson, New Jersey. And he used to walk around with a bullhorn and a baseball bat. Because he had kids that were 19 and a half, 20 years of age, Dan, who were sophomores. Would come, just hang out in the hallways. They once punched the superintendent of schools walking there.
Wow.
So he's got Joe Clark there, and he starts lecturing Clark. And once he says, one imagines what you might do, Mr. Clark, with parents. We have one of them here. The guy stands up and challenges him, and Clark says, yeah, that's right. How many kids you have, 6 or 7? How many drugs did you deal today? And Phil Donahue just looked like, oh, my God. But he is the originator.
There's a guy, I pulled an article from Education Week, April 26, 1989. It goes, the headline, the make-believe world of Lean on Me, starts with referring to Joe Clark, the Paterson, New Jersey high school principal who made himself famous wielding a bullhorn and a baseball bat. Former Secretary of Education William J. Bennett once said, sometimes you need Mr. Chips and sometimes you need Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry, Rambo, and Rocky have nothing on Mr. Clark, who has assured his place in the folklore with the release of the motion picture Lean on Me. Didn't realize that was about him.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll come to me, though, what we debated with Donahue. But I don't know how we put it together, how we got it, Dan. All I know is it wasn't to the level of when Christy and I were going at it. It was a rung below, because nothing could be like that. I mean, that was hand-to-hand combat. But Donahue was right up there, and he just got exasperated. You know, you're hateful, something like that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was happy to get him on.
Yeah.
What the heck were we having on about? I think it was around being Catholic, somehow or another. All right, Joe in Ben Salem.
Hey, Joe.
First in today on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dom. I would like to comment on J.D. Vance.
Sure.
I think he's a star. I think out of all 4 of them, I think he's if you're worried about the future and he's in it, you don't have nothing to worry about.
Well, I got to tell you, being in the ring with him, I think he's found his voice now much different than in the beginning of the campaign because of Walz. He's hit his stride here big time.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Because if you watch the NBC, the CNN, and the ABC interviews where they all had the same script, he was dynamite. He really was. He was very, very good, extremely good. You know, extremely intelligent. So I'm very impressed with him. Very impressed.
I am. Got anybody with initials in honor of J.D. Vance?
Anybody with initials?
That's our side question. Yeah, Joe.
Or anything.
Anything. Yeah. Initials.
FDR.
FDR.
Oh,
There's a big one. FDR
like
was
it.
one of the
Yeah,
first that did that. I don't remember people saying, then the Kennedys picked up on it. All right, 855-839-1210. Coming up, I want to give you, what the Inquirer quotes Josh Shapiro about. And, what I think I'd say to Josh Shapiro if I had the opportunity, if he ever deigns to go back and forth over stuff. His claim, Donald Trump, of all things, is not going to lecture me about what anti-Semitism is. It's not in the Democrat Party. Hey, Josh, look out the window wherever you are there in Chicago, and you tell me that mob that is massing, they're not anti-Semites? 125 organizations have come together. What do they share in common? Well, they say they're anti-Israel. Really, many of them are just anti-Semitic. Some of them are just pro-Hamas. How in the world does your party not have that problem? Talk to Ilhan Omar. Talk to Tlaib. Are those anti-Semites? Is somebody ever going to ask this guy something like that? 855-839-1210.
Real quick question.
Yes.
On the side question from Leslie and Bryn Mawr, Are we accepting things like BYOB?
It's up to you.
I think we should.
All right, let's throw the gates open. It's Democrat week. Anything goes.
All right, because Head of Lettuce had a great one, too. I'm going to take off the board. How about POTUS or SCOTUS?
By the way, let me just take a moment to honor BYOBs, Dan. There's no greater invention.
You're right, man.
The first thing I look at, I ask Ro, is that a BYOB? Then you don't care. You're bringing bottles of wine out. No, I feel, yes.
Well, knowing Ro now, you're going to be bringing a blender over to the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Some pina colada mix?
As long as they have pina colada mix, yeah. Now, Ro has these little bottles this big, and she drinks about a tenth of it each time we go out of Lambrusco.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is it wine or is it hard alcohol?
No, she's not. No, it's a virgin pina colada. There's no alcohol.
No,
they blanch at that.
Has she started asking for the specialty pina coladas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saw all that handiwork and said, Maisie's pretty lucky. So watch it. Dan Borowski's one of those guys that make other guys look
bad. I made a new one over the weekend. I had my fantasy draft, had a bunch of friends over. I made some chocolate peanut butter pina coladas.
You know what? If you do it, don't put it in a place where women can see it. Then the rest of us have to try to come up with that. That's the problem. Oh, look at the Borowskis over. Look at Dan mowing the lawn.
They were delicious, Dom.
At 7 in the morning on a Sunday.
I'm going to have you and Ro over.
We're not doing that.
Dinner.
That's it.
I'm going to make you some pina coladas.
Oh, God.
Maybe some clams.
Oysters Rockefeller.
No, I'm not making oysters Rockefeller. I'm thinking clams with white sauce and pasta. Maybe some Captain Chucky's.
Oh, well, there you go. You got me.
Yeah, some Dom rolls to lead off.
Get Captain
Maryland
Chucky's
crab soup.
to cater. Oh,
yeah.
To cater this. All right, big 1 o'clock hour coming straight in.
These fantastic pina coladas, Dom.
I hear there's a big Dan Time with Dom coming up today, too. And we're talking with Linda Kearns at 2 o'clock.
Yes, we are.
Linda Kearns spoke with Trump at the rally in Wilkes-Barre, our Secretary of Defense, voter integrity. She'll be on today to tell us what that was about and what does she expect coming up. All right, big 1 o'clock hour, big day here with J.D. Vance. It's up on podcast if you, or it will be, if you missed the interview. He was very good. He's found his voice. He's going to take apart the Gladhander walls. Will he be talking about 8 tracks and Springsteen, or will he bring tater tots?
White man tacos?
White man tacos. 855-839-1210.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Ship snappers moving from Kensington to Delco?
My uncle used to sell his gallstones at the Bazaar of All Nations out on Baltimore Pike. Had a nice establishment here, 3 different dart teams and 4 leagues, video poker, and hard-boiled eggs, pickled eggs. We keep them right out on the bar there.
See Joe Conklin in Delco at the Media Theater with the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, November 16th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
Don't miss Borgata's $1.5 million Summer Showdown. Now through August 31st, 1,500 winners will earn a share of $1.5 million. Plus, 2 lucky players will win a 2024 Ford Bronco or Jeep Rubicon. Earn entries for drawings held every Saturday, including 2 grand prize drawings on July 27th and August 31st. The $1.5 million Summer Showdown, only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Players must be present to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. J.D. Vance in Philadelphia, over in North Philly, Indiana Avenue, speaking on the economy, energy, and this place we were joking about. Well, here's a little bit of J.D. Vance at this waste management company.
Of the United States, but she refuses to stand before the American people without a teleprompter standing between them. Kamala, what are you so afraid of? The American people are good and kind, even if they don't like your politics. Why don't you get out and talk to them? If you want to be the people's president, you ought to be willing to stand before the people and answer a few tough questions. I don't think that's too much to ask, is it? Now, speaking of, she has got quite the running mate, this guy, Tim Walz, who...
He's got a big smile on his face, too.
Tim Walz, I swear, before the end of the campaign, Tim Walz is going to be talking about how he was carrying an M16 through the jungles of Vietnam. But this guy, everything that comes out of his mouth about his military service is at least 25% a lie. And you know, it occurred to me, the closest Tim Walz has ever come to combat, even though he says he carried a weapon in war, the closest Tim Walz has ever come to combat is when he let rioters burn Minneapolis to the ground a few years ago, right?
Hey, why didn't he give me that line? Come on now. It was with Dom.
He acts like such a tough guy, my friends. I don't know if you saw this, but Tim Walz said that he would debate me anytime, anywhere. So he threw out October 1st, a debate moderated by CBS, which I'm sure is going to be in the tank for the Democrats, but who cares? Because I respect the American people to go before hostile media. But when he says he'll debate anytime, anywhere, he apparently didn't mean in mid-September, because I offered him a debate in front of CNN, not exactly friends of me and Donald Trump. And you know what Tim Walz said? No thanks. Because they are hiding from the American people. My message to Kamala and Tim Walz, but especially to the American people, is the American people deserve to be led by somebody who is willing to get out there and talk to people. Kamala and Tim, stop hiding in the basement, get out there and campaign. We'd all appreciate it quite a bit.
All right, that's J.D. Vance, who was on the show earlier today at the Desorb Systems in North Philly on Indiana Avenue. It sounded like a pretty good crowd there. Republicans in North Philly over there. Wow. Yeah, now if it were Trump and we had him on going to a waste management part, we'd have had a lot of fun with that. Guy sitting back on the table, playing some cards. Well, waste management? Yeah, what?
A little, local pandering from JD here.
Yeah.
Business leaders, but before we do, I'd like to answer some questions from primarily local Philadelphia press. We've got.
I like that actually.
We've got to get out of here and go get a cheesesteak.
That's the pan.
We are in Philly. But
come on.
Any recommendations?
Okay.
All right. Okay.
That's how you start a fight in Philly. You ask for recommendations for best cheesesteak.
Yeah. But let me say, let me ask the local media here. If you're from the local media, raise your hand first. And then I'd like to answer a few of your questions.
I really
if we got
like
time
that.
Afterwards,
Cool.
we'll get to national folks. It's very bright, so it's hard to see.
What's the Inquirer
in a black
twerp
shirt? Yes. Here we go.
Rosemary Connors from NBC Philadelphia.
Oh, they got a mic!
What's your message to Pennsylvania voters on abortion? Has your opinion changed? Do you think there should be a national ban? Or should it be left up to the states?
Oh, this is great.
Look, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Look, first of all, I think it's important to be honest about what Donald Trump and I are focused on here. And what Donald Trump and I are focused on is making the American dream affordable again for Pennsylvania families. That is what we're focused on.
The Gingrich approach.
Yeah. Now he's going to answer.
Look, on the abortion question in particular, what President Trump has said has been very direct. And I think honestly he's tried to find some common ground in this country that has been divided by this question for 50 years. He said, look, Pennsylvania is going to want to have a different abortion policy from Ohio, which is going to want to have a different policy from California. Let the states decide. Let the people in those states decide. And I think it's important to point out just how different Donald Trump's common sense approach is from our opposition. Because these guys are talking about taxpayer-funded abortions up until the moment of birth. That is sick stuff. Whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, I think we can all agree that we do not need to have American taxpayers paying for abortion at 33 weeks of pregnancy. It's gross.
Somebody's listening to you, Don.
And the final point that I'd say on this is President Trump and I believe very, very deeply that we want Americans to feel like they can afford to have families again. The biggest problem that we have in this country, you talk
to young women. Dan, we'll let you monitor. If the Inquirer asked inflammatory question, we'll go to it. But
I love the crowd reaction when she goes straight to abortion.
That does, up there in North Philly, sounds like a vigorous Republican Party in Philadelphia today. All right, I was mentioning Josh Shapiro, then I'm going to come to your call. So Shapiro is much in demand in Chicago. And in the aftermath of Walz being selected, he started, the Inquirer said, this whirlwind campaign in Chicago. Donald Trump is completely full of it. He's trying to use me and he's trying to use other Jews to divide America further. We've seen this with Trump.
Inquirer questions there.
Oh, here, the Inquirer question?
Yeah, it's not as inflammatory as you'd expect, though.
Reporters first, ma'am.
Hi there, Aaliyah Schneider, the Philly Inquirer. How often can we expect you to be in Pennsylvania, and where are you getting your cheesesteak and why?
That sounds like a trap to me, Dan.
I'm going to be in Pennsylvania as much as you find people will
On the
have.
Dom
How does that
Giordano
sound,
show.
all right?
Come on. Throw that in there.
Pennsylvania is an incredibly important state to me and President Trump. It is a state with a proud energy tradition, a proud manufacturing tradition. We believe that if we make more stuff in America, Pennsylvania workers and Pennsylvania families are going to benefit. So we're going to be here a lot, taking our message to the whole state, because who wants to make more stuff in the United States of America? Who wants to build more factories in the United States of America? Who wants to rely on American workers and not on Chinese workers right here in the state of Pennsylvania? This is a very, very important state for us.
All right, that's J.D. Vance. All right, so the Inquirer asking cheesecake. That's not too bad. So Josh Shapiro, much in demand, and he said today in Chicago he wasn't going to be lectured by Donald Trump. Anti-Semitism played absolutely no role in my dialogue with the vice president. Absolutely not. Now, Josh, no one is saying, she was saying, I'm an anti-Semite, Josh. I don't know if I can have you on the ticket as somebody who's Jewish. So we're supposed to believe that this played no role on this. Oh, well, first, our buddy Linda Stein, where I write over the Delaware Valley Journal, has a question for J.D. Vance.
Right as to what you were just talking about. Though.
Ladies right here.
J.D., Linda Stein, Delaware Valley Journal.
Dom Giordano's paper.
What is your position and President Trump's position on Israel and the Gaza war?
Well, look, our position is pretty simple. It's that the best thing for Israel and the best thing for the United States is for this war to be over as quickly as possible and for Hamas to be destroyed in the process. And what I don't
Some booze here, right?
Some
Linda,
booze,
what I
Who's
don't
that booing?
understand is you have Kamala Harris who says that she's really concerned about civilian casualties. Well, I'm very concerned about civilian casualties too. But if you're concerned about civilian casualties, you want the war to be over as quickly as possible and you want to destroy Hamas's ability to fight. She's pursuing policies that are doing exactly the opposite. Prolonging the war as long as possible and not allowing Israel to finish the job against Hamas. It's the worst of all possible worlds. Donald Trump is going to return strength to the American foreign policy scene.
Okay, we got the point. Thank you, Linda. Great question for him. So Josh Shapiro today says that this had nothing to do with anything. I think Kamala Harris made a great pick for the job, was very clear about what she wanted. Tim fits that very well. Well, what is it? Does anybody ask the guy at follow-up? What is that exactly? Of course it did. There are 100,000 of this mob out there. They are massing on college campuses as we speak. Yesterday, Rutgers, the big state university, costs a lot to go there, Jersey, right? They shut down new student orientation coming there. It's not going away what happened last year. You heard what I asked J.D. Vance, and he said it too. These are garbage heaps they set up, etc. They should be made to take them down. What are we going to do about it? How much money do we have to take away from them? So the idea that Josh Shapiro was not chosen as the VP, that anti-Semitism, anti-Israel didn't have something to do with that, of course it did. And if he'd come on, we'd talk about it. The evidence is overwhelming here. Just look at what it is like. I mean, they're calling her Killer Kamala, Genocide Joe. And the Hamas group will be allowed, due to the mayor, to picket or to demonstrate right in front of the convention center. The others will not. 100,000, 125 anti-Israel organizations putting this together. They're frothing at this. There is no doubt. And this is after October 7th. Now, is that the sole reason Josh Shapiro wasn't chosen? Probably not. Probably they thought, this guy will upstage her. He's better. He is. Now, I'm thankful because I think he would have taken him a long shot to win Pennsylvania versus Walz, who's going to do nothing here. But the idea that they're not crawling with this is ridiculous. And what Shapiro's doing is trying to assuage Jewish members of the kidding themselves, in my view, that they're not in a party. How can you have a party with Omar and Tlaib and all these others and all these groups? Last night, they had the welcoming party for delegates. They crashed the stage on that. That's why Chicago's boarded up, other than the usual Democrat gangs that are in town. Didn't see that in Milwaukee. Of course it has something to do with that. Of course it's different. Any rational person would tell you that. But they're not going to say that because it cuts against the Democrat Party. If this were a Republican, there'd be big trouble on this. All right, so watch for more on Shapiro on this, but he is still in demand there. He would have been the better choice. He would have made it difficult to win Pennsylvania. The result is good, but they're not getting away with the cause of it. They can't, and you're going to see that play out over the next 3 or 4 days. All right, I'm coming to you. Hit his initials today in honor of J.D. Vance. I think he's found his voice here, and I think Walz helped to do it. The way he went after Walz in the military thing is very, very appropriate, and he's over the, the stuff that happened in the beginning of the campaign that maybe wasn't as good. John Cole, our buddy, producer, protege. I don't know if he's a protege, Dan.
He was one of your producers for a while.
All right, yeah, it's true. Here's John Cole. I guess Politics PA is who he's with now, asking Vance a question.
PA?
John Cole, Pennsylvania Capital Star, based in Philadelphia. As you talk about the economy, what does the Trump-Vance ticket believe the federal minimum wage should be? If Trump gets a second term, would he support raising it, or should it stay the same? And is there a specific number that he would support it at?
Well, look, President Trump believes very strongly that the best way to promote raising Americans' wages is with tight labor markets. When an employer has got to pay a good wage to attract the right people, and you know the way that you destroy, whether you have a higher minimum wage or a lower minimum wage, the way to destroy the wages of American workers is to import 20 million illegal aliens and let them stay here with work visas.
Really proven himself.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris's entire economic approach is to pursue policies that destroy the wages of workers, that raise the cost of goods, and then to say, well, don't remember that I've been vice president for 1,300 days, but when I get out there somehow, I'm going to wave my magic wand and fix all the problems that I caused. Nobody believes that Kamala Harris can do that. And why do we have? I'll tell you, y'all may not pay as close attention to this as I do, but when you look at, there's this chart out there, and it tracks the wages of American workers against the size of government and corporate profits. And what was happening is that for a very long time, corporate profits were doing just fine, and government was getting bigger and bigger. But you know who was really struggling? The wages of American workers.
Good point.
And then there's this
thing
that happens.
All right, thanks, Dan. So some of our favorites there. Bottom line is, if you have 20 million people here illegally, keep on bringing in other workers under the table. This is where the fraudulent unions don't do enough. They don't want to make that point. As long as they're getting theirs through the Democratic Party, they're not going to say much about illegal immigration. We've seen this again and again and again. Nice pivot on that, though. Yeah, so rather than federal minimum wages and all the rest of it, wages will go up if you don't have people that are undercutting them. Who's undercutting them? People coming into the country illegally. What do Democrats want to do in these cities? They want them hired. Why? They're here illegally. Well, they're causing trouble. Hire them. All right, 855-839-1210. I am coming to your calls. We'll get a few on board on the initials, too. Dan Time with Dom coming up. Dom's Money Melody a little bit later here on Talk Radio 1210.
This week, all eyes are on Chicago for the Democratic National Convention, and Rich Zioli is there.
While our economy is doing well by many measures, prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high.
Listen this afternoon, 3 till 7, for the latest news, excitement, and drama as it unfolds. Rich Zioli, live from a Democratic National Convention. This afternoon, 3 till 7, only on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
According to a study conducted by Atticus Law Firm, 40% of retirees were forced back into the workforce because they received a deceptive sales pitch from their broker. But there is one way to ensure that you don't become part of that statistic.
Tony Gambone and Denise Gambone, Royersford, Pennsylvania.
I know people that had to go back to work because they got bad investment advice from brokers. By recording our sessions, Crash Proof Retirement proves they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
The recordings used by Crash Proof Retirement, it's just a natural extension of how Crash Proof is legally bound to do right for the consumer.
Guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Sunday storms in the area caused flooding, knocked down trees, and created issues at the airport. The Philly School District Superintendent says student test scores are improving, but he still wants to see more progress. And the Sixers fix up a basketball court in Camden and promise more renovations to come.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Outside, you can fry eggs on the sidewalk. But here, in the cool comfort of Colonial Marble and Granite, you can beat the heat with stone-cold savings on the region's deepest selection of stone surfaces. Why not start chilling in a brand new kitchen when you can get $0 down, plus 0% interest for 18 months on promotion starting at $29.99. But hurry, the sun sets on these savings Monday, August 19th. Restrictions apply. Visit colonialmarble.net for details. That's colonialmarble.net.
Hey, Warminster, we know your favorite station is WPHT.
Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
All right, Tom Giordano show. So we had J.D. Vance on at the top of the show. We have one more question from this waste management thing. We'll play you back what he was asked by the local media. But first, Alan in Hamilton. All right, Alan, afternoon. What do you have on the J.D. Vance initial side question today?
S.E. Hinton, the author of The Outsiders and Rumblefish. She turned out to be a girl, and she used S.E. Hinton to avoid that.
Yeah, when I was teaching, Dan, Outsiders, Rumblefish, and all that, those were some of the most popular books. I'm not sure if they're allowed anymore. I don't know.
So she went by S.E. to hide the fact that she was a woman?
Yeah, apparently.
Fascinating.
Yes. Yeah, well, think of pen names are always an interesting...
Yeah, it says Hinton's publisher suggested she use her initials instead of her feminine given name so that the first male book reviewers would not dismiss the novel because the author was female. It's sad.
Yeah, my book got knocked out at a lunch table in New York, Dan. I told you that story of a guy who didn't like the story I put in there, and I didn't take a position on it, but about abortion. He didn't like it. My agent said, well, you don't like it. It was pretty much like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I don't even think we were through the salad yet. It was already over.
I have audio of it, Dom.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
That's what it came down to. It was shocking. All the way up to New York for that. Oh, my God. Let's go to Richard in Westchester on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Richard, afternoon.
Aloha.
Aloha, Richard. Hi.
I didn't know if you knew. I'm Jewish, and I'm really pissed off at Josh Shapiro. I've always had disliked Josh Shapiro because I worked with him when I was working in Montgomery County. But to me, he went so far to try to get that vice president job as to reattach or redo his circumcision.
Well,
to reattach it.
I got the point. Yeah, I got the point.
That's the kind of Jew he is to me. The guy's a capo.
All right. Well, thanks, Richard. Yeah.
A little too much.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
The bottom line is he's shrewd enough to know that this had part in it. It's because of the party. Look at the evidence. If he ever comes on, if there's situations like at the debate, Dan, he comes on for one side or another, and I had a chance to ask that, it's only 2 or 3 follow-up questions in. Just look at the evidence of your party. And it's even more, I know even more about this. It's not so much just his defense of Israel. They don't like it that he spoke up about these god-awful encampments on college campuses. That's what really got them nuts. You know, that woman, Goldie, you can't hide, all that you can't hide stuff. Are we about ready to see this again? You heard the interview with J.D. Vance, and I asked him about it, and he said it's relatively simple. Well, I don't know about that. I think these colleges are going to do it again. Rutgers yesterday had their new students, so I think it's starting this week, orientation and all. They were shut down by these mobs. You have to understand something. It's perverted, their defense of Hamas versus Israel. But it's also their fun. It becomes their driving. You know, other people have lives, have other things going on. What is their connection to this? It's not like the Vietnam War or something. They're on the side of evil here. Why? Well, it's the hot thing to do. It's encampments. It's actually fun. It's a driving force to them. And Josh Shapiro not only is pro-Israel, but he did, to some degree, push back on these encampments. So if they do it again at Temple right now, we have arrest warrants issued. They're looking for the people who were urinating on the roof and other things of the Jewish fraternity there. These people are just crazed. And why? They get away with it. They know only so much is going to happen to them. And they know the Democrat Party at heart, significant numbers, are rabidly anti-Semitic, anti-Israel. So how in the world does Josh Shapiro not think that was a consideration? Of course it was. And she was parsing out, too, after interviewing him, he's going to upstage her. She's not that hard to upstage, so she needed a backwoods buffoon who cares about tater tots. You know, one of my top things out of all this...
You don't care about tater tots?
One of my top things that have gone on, and Dan Rowe, and you know, Rowe usually doesn't get... She can't stand walls either. I mean, there's something off-putting about this guy. He has the opposite effect on me, even more than Harris. Folksy, he's so likable and all. He's annoying at best.
He tries too hard.
Yeah, he does.
He really does.
And just the faces he makes, and he puts one foot in the air like when he's coming on stage. It's just too much. Now, in a debate with J.D. Vance on the issues and all that, I think J.D. Vance will take him apart. I don't know how that'll play out with the people asking questions and all. Will they think he's folksy? Will it be one of those things? Wow. All right, one more. Joe in Bordentown. Joe on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, what's yours today?
Mine is ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra.
Love it.
Yeah, that's a big brand name. That has, when you say that, it definitely, you know who you're talking about. I see a great one, some TV one. Could be real or fictional. That's what we're looking for. 855-839-1210. Let's play that so I don't forget who's this with, Dan, this J.D. Vance cut?
CBS Philadelphia, Dom.
All right, here's CBS Philadelphia from the Indiana Avenue waste product place with J.D. Vance.
Ma'am, maybe right here in the front.
Nikki Dementry with CBS Philadelphia. Senator Vance, you've been in Philadelphia twice in about 2 weeks. This is a city, though, that is run by the Democratic Party, has been for quite a while. Why do you feel this city is so important for the campaign, and can you win it come November?
I think we absolutely can win it. We're going to win the whole state of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. Look. I'd ask voters in Philadelphia and across the whole state a very simple question. Has your life been better off under Democrat leadership? Have your communities gotten safer under Democrat leadership? Have your wages kept up with affordability under Democrat leadership? And because the answer is no, I think that Americans, Pennsylvanians, and the citizens of this city are ready for a change. They're ready for the presidency of Donald J. Trump. All righty.
What kind of question do you think you're going to win Philadelphia here, though? I mean, You have limited access. Dan and I and a third party were sweating over, can you put this syllable in? No, put that syllable in with J.D. Vance when we had 10 minutes with him today. I think Roe had questions. She never does, suggestions. Oh, ask him about this.
Does Roe like Vance?
Yeah. She's okay. It's Walls that sets her off, though, more than others. It's more antagonism that way.
What are her thoughts on Kamala?
I think they're not positive, but Walls is like a tinderbox.
I feel like Maisie thinks that Kamala is very disingenuous for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Well, over the weekend, she told a high school football team, you'll be undefeated if you just try. That was one thing. Dan, we have that other cut, too, over the weekend where Vice President Harris, we had one, she was with reporters.
The one where she was just ranting about democracy?
Yes. Here's the thing about democracy. They let her go off script. 10 seconds in, they know it's a mistake. This was at a truck stop, or this may have been at the Primani place, the sandwich place. Here is Vice President Harris telling us what democracy is.
Our election is about understanding the importance of this beautiful country of ours in terms of what we stand for around the globe as a democracy. As a democracy, we know there's a duality to the nature of democracy. On the one hand, incredible strength when it is intact. What it does for its people to protect and defend their rights, their liberty, and their freedom. Incredibly strong and incredibly fragile.
Oh, my God. The word sound, this wasn't even to a question. She just wanted to talk at a Trump stop about democracy being fragile. And that's what she came up with. I don't think they wrote that out. No one could write that out. The all-timer to me is when she was with the kids and she did the Venn diagrams and she talked about what they'll be seeing in space and all.
Yeah.
And even though those kids were probably, Democrat Party youth already, they were having trouble with it.
Like every time she goes off script, she's like a comedy film where the hero has to make a speech at graduation or something and just has to wing it.
Yeah.
Like it's just so I don't know what it is. It's so
well, in the middle of what she
insincere.
thinks is a good idea, it's that too. In the middle of what she thinks is a good idea, she just runs out of a thought, so she keeps on repeating it and then abruptly ending. All right, 855-839-1210, you can get in. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube base TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors, like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Weather sponsored by Express Employment Professionals.
Monday, more rain possible with a high of 84. And on Tuesday, we're only going to get up to 75.
If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Tom Giordano Show, welcome in. So the consensus over the weekend, after all this rollout on price fixing by Vice President Harris, even pretty damaging, it's already up in commercials, in which she talks about the fact that, here's the price gauging and how bread is still 50%. Here's what she said on Friday in North Carolina, cut 3.
We all know that prices went up during the pandemic when the supply chains shut down and failed. But our supply chains have now improved, and prices are still too high. So believe me, as president, I will go after the bad actors, and I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food.
Oh, price gauging? The heck is that? So, the explanation over the weekend is her heart's in the right place. She just wants fairness. These companies are charging too much, etc. Again, in a debate, whether it's Trump or J.D. Vance, you have to press the moderators and press the opponent. Give us a specific here. When are these things triggered? What's too high? Who's determining that? And the smarter ones say, we've already done that in the States. They haven't really, and not on the vast manner that we're talking about. By the way, the former chief of staff, Ron Klain, who's a real insider for Joe Biden, over the weekend, they were talking about Harris with the New York Times, and Klain said that we were all united behind the idea that she should be successful. We just didn't find the path to do it, indicating she didn't do anything as vice president. I mean, just one example. It was buried in the New York Times, but that's how they still feel about it. And I'm looking at it's going to be, say, next week, early next week, we'll know if there is only a minor bounce from this convention or no bounce at all. That's indicative of what most people think. that she's plateaued. And now it's a question, can she maintain that, or is this going to incrementally go down? And that's the reason why they didn't think she was capable of beating Trump. And it's a big if. All Trump has to do is stick to the script, look at the material that's there. I realize, though, that is a monumental challenge. So I was going to ask this, Dan. Can we all agree, at least, or do you still have to say this insanity? Well, Dom, Trump is playing chess, not checkers. In other words, you think all these things that Trump does make sense. When he sticks to the policies, adds a little bit of humor in there, not saying stuff that's tangential, and it lets him get a news cycle. Of course, that's fine. But getting into these other things just plays into their hands, helps to run out the clock. Make the case, the economy right now, inflation, is huge, and she's actually given you something to work with right here. And continue to make that point. Don't get bored with it. I mean, it's only 78 days, whatever it is, to stick to that message. And she's very beatable. No matter what happens between now and then, extremely beatable. But if you keep on allowing controversy after controversy to run out the clock, for example, I see no sense, and you have to face it. And I don't agree with it. I'll tell you when I don't agree with it. Otherwise, then you have no credibility. When President Trump, apparently again was it yesterday, talking about, well, it's better to get the civilian medal because you don't die or get shot in that. Why go down this path? You know, why defend this? Can we all agree? Well, I don't want, then don't take a position. Go off somewhere. I take positions. The Congressional Medal of Honor is the most cherished of all honors. That's my, can you challenge that? Dan, can you tell me there's anything big? The Oscar, the MVP.
Purple Heart.
The Congressional, well, that's a lower form of it. The Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah, you're right.
To be, you don't win it, you are accorded it. That is it. What could be a higher honor for that civilian medal, whatever it's called? No. Hollywood people get that. Congressional Medal of Honor are for true heroes. There's nothing higher than that. All right, Robert in Ben Salem's in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys.
Same here,
Dom,
Robert.
I really appreciate that guy that you had on Friday, because he pointed out something, and I checked it out. The production price index went up 16.1%. The consumer price index went up 17.3%. That's not price gouging. If the production price index had gone up like 10% and we went up 18%, that's price gouging. But if you want to know what price gouging looks like, go to a Phillies game, okay? I went to a Phillies game Saturday night with two of my sons and my grandson. We had a perfect time. Walk-off win, very exciting. He loved it. I'll never forget it. But I went to get 2 bottles of 20-ounce soda, 2 20-ounce bottles of soda, $15.10, Dom. That's price gouging. I don't know how them people at Aramark sleep at night. $15 for 2 20-ounce bottles of soda. Are they going to say anything about that? Of course not. They're going to go after wheat thins or whatever. But it's just ridiculous that they're lying about this, and I'm convinced.
Well, wait a minute, Dan. Let me hold this up. Dan, look what I brought into Robert's point today that I was munching on. I got my wheat tins box. Did he happen to see that in the background?
Something else. Look at that.
There you go. Don't mess around with the wheat thins. You're right.
I'm telling, or in your case, blueberries. You know what I'm saying?
Grapes too.
That guy who told you to ration your blueberries, I still remember that call. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But at any rate, my answer to the side question is W.E.B. Du Bois did a lot of work with Lincoln and fixing our problems. And for my fellow listeners who are wondering, W.E.B. stood for William Edward Burkhardt. Not sure where that Burkhardt came from, but it was William Edward Burkhardt Du Bois. And so that's my little fun fact for today. But you guys have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Robert. Boy, is there anybody better? Oh, my goodness, Dan. The blueberries, yeah. All right, 855-83. Well, I mentioned.
Was that Paul in Westchester?
Yeah, Pritzker is the governor of Illinois who brought the convention here, is the grand marshal of it, is the Hyatt heir. He's a billionaire. He was going off on, we need these price controls. What about Hyatt? Dan said they're charging $80 versus the hotel across the street. That sounds like they need to have a readjustment. Maybe Kamala Harris will look at it and say, these pillows are not that cushy. Deduct $20 a night. Who's going to determine this stuff? So the argument is, well, she's just saying it in general. No, she's not. If she were saying something in general about equity, that's one thing. All right, we got a big Dan Time with Dom coming up here. Hey, are you constantly searching for an extra energy boost? As we age, our bodies produce less of the natural fuel needed to combat fatigue. That's why you should discover Rescue Orosine from Rescue Natural Supplements. Rescue Orosine helps enhance energy production at the cellular level, supports a healthy heart, and maintains optimal blood pressure. Plus, right now, our exclusive radio listeners offer, you can take advantage of a special offer. You buy one bottle of Orosine, you get another completely free. All you have to do is use the code FUEL when placing your order. To place an order, visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE. Again, it's 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Remember, use the code FUEL at checkout. Again, mention the code FUEL, F-U-E-L, when you call, or use it at res-q.com. Get that second bottle of energy-boosting Rescue Orosine totally free.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Kids go hard, live without boundaries, play with no fear, and enjoy every opportunity. How they feel tomorrow starts today. Keep them on their toes with proactive steps to be well. Looking out for their total health and wellness includes keeping them up to date on preventative immunizations, allowing them to be their best self every day. Talk to your pediatrician about a vaccine schedule that works for you.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We remove the stress and get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident. But if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program from Dan Time with Dom. And a running theme here we've had on the Dan Time with Dom is an ongoing challenge from weekend WPHT host and, man, he's everywhere around the country, Mike Opelka. And, Dom, Mike was out on the links because he's been wanting to play you in golf for a while because he's fixed his right-hand hook or whatever you called it.
His slice.
His slice. So he was actually out on the links yesterday and recorded this and sent it over.
It's a gray Sunday, but that's nice because nobody's out here. We're just having fun playing golf with your posse. Get outside. Radio tomorrow morning, Fort Myers, Naples, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Everywhere this guy.
And then reporting from the Trump rally in York, PA. So it's a road day tomorrow. A lot of work.
Now he's going to prove this shot, Dom.
To get this ball in the
Proving it.
And at that hole. Please.
Listen to this shot.
It's going at it if it's enough.
He even brought a witness.
It's enough. Oh, it's right next to the pin. Just below the hole.
Okay. It's probably 50 feet away. Come
Right
on
on the
now.
green,
Yes,
Dom.
right on the green.
So
All
now
right.
Mike's out there in York, Pennsylvania on the street talking to individuals, and he actually talked to a woman named Karen who was out there holding a sign in York. Take a listen.
So we're checking out this sign, and it says, Mr. President, I couldn't afford your hat or T-shirt. Thanks, Bidenomics. Karen's for Trump. Wait, you're a Karen?
I sure am.
And you say you want to be the president of the Karens?
I want to be the president of Karens for Trump.
Well, we'll nominate you for that.
Well, thank you.
And Mike, being the great guy he did, he had to go get that woman a hat, brought her back the hat, and sent over a picture of her now wearing the hat. But I want to go live to York, Pennsylvania. Surprise guest, Mike Opelka.
So Mike Opelka.
Mike, how we doing? How's York?
It's crowded. I think the population of York doubled today with the group that's gathered here. It's not a giant rally, it's an event. So there's only a couple hundred people allowed in, but there's more press than people. And that's because it's inside a plant that makes stuff, tubing and things for nuclear missiles and rockets on submarines. It's a really cool operation. Yeah,
Well-
I'm talking to some of the people that work here.
So, Mike, J.D. Vance, though, doesn't get the plum assignment. He's over at a waste management company on Indiana Avenue in Philadelphia today.
Well, you know, when you're the top dog, you get this. When you're number two, you get number two.
Hey, Mike, so this golf shot that you're working on, you are shooting straight now, huh? So Dom tells me beforehand that there's a new device that you can, screw onto your driver, and he says maybe Mike is using this little cheater device. Is that true? Or did
No,
you
I
screw
didn't
that on your
say
driver?
that. Mike knows about that. You screw it in, you change
No,
the
I-
face of your driver.
Well, you can change the face of your driver. I went out and bought new clubs, Dom, and now my fade, which you call a slice, is almost non-existent. And so I'm ready any day, any time, Dom Giordano. And Nick Hale, if you dare to crawl out of your closet and play golf.
What's a closet reference here to Nick Gale? What's a closet going on? All right, so, yeah, we'll have to set that up again. Last year wasn't less than enough. I don't know. I told Dan I don't know if I could hit it quite like last year. There might
Mike,
be a downturn.
is there going to be a bet on this game, do you think?
Oh, no.
And where's the handicap sit between you two?
Oh, God.
I'm at a 15 right now, 15.2. So that's where I'm sitting.
Just give me 5 shots aside then.
5 shot. What am I, Trump?
Have you ever discussed your golf swing with Trump?
No, I haven't. I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to do a home-and-home DuPont and Bedminster. And, Dom, if that happens, you're part of the foursome.
Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, I know Trump could be kind of cutting. Any kind of bad shot might be trouble there, you know?
He's a great golfer.
Yeah.
He is a great golfer. He puts us both to shame. And he needs to give us 10 shots aside. But yeah, I think this is interesting. I just saw Steve Mnuchin walk by. He's got his economic team here. He's going to bring up on stage. Yeah, this is all about the economy and what the Trump economy is going to mean. Very interesting. I saw, and I sent Dan a picture. There was one Kamala silent protester standing across the street staring at everybody, wearing her Kamala shirt. I went up and introduced myself. She was quite friendly. just not happy we were here.
Good stuff, Mike. Thank you.
Mike.
I'm glad the fade is under control. We'll see you soon, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, Tom, I made the birdie. It wasn't 50 feet. It was 8 feet, and I made the birdie. So, neener. Talk
Mike,
to you soon.
Thank you. Mike. I can't imagine playing with him, Dan. The fade was, I said slice because it's controlled, but it's still like 30 yards. He's got to, Mike, where are you aiming? You can't aim at the clubhouse over there. Guys are taking cover, and the ball starts at them and ends up over here. Yeah.
He's genuinely a great guy. Mike Kapelka, Saturdays 8 to 11 here on WPHT.
Yeah, you can never play golf with anybody better. And Nick Cale's great, too. So, I don't know. Between the two, though, Nick Cale on his game would beat Mike. Not on his game. And Mike is steady. He's got a clear advantage.
Nick's quite the golfer.
Nick's a little bit, he can play really well, though. I can see it. Just the one time we played. All right. The Odyssey Cup. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Coming up, our Secretary of Defense, voter integrity. Linda Kearns was in Wilkes-Barre with President Trump. Got to talk with him. Several things to talk with her about. Dom's Money Melody coming up, too. And we're monitoring what's happening with the protesters as they mass in Chicago. Again, so far, they haven't had the major marches, but there's guesstimated 100,000 of them. Over what? Hatred of Israel. That's what it's about. I'm sure in that kind of crowd, there's a few, 10 maybe, well-meaning, around the issue of they're tired of seeing what's happening in Gaza. Okay. What's the answer to that? There is no answer other than what Israel's doing. 855-839-1210. Big 2 o'clock hour on Talk Radio 1210.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number, locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a 7th-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. Linda Kearns has really become a fixture during this time of crisis. She's the Pennsylvania Election Integrity Counsel for the RNC. Dan and I call her the Secretary of Defense. She was in Wilkes-Barre, and she got to speak at the Trump rally there. So I wanted to know, that's a good sign of convincing people, because I know we still have a way to go. It matters if you vote. There is no excuse not to vote. If you don't vote, you're thinking they're going to win anyhow, they're going to cheat, yada, yada, yada. You're giving them just what they want, that kind of attitude, demoralizing polls. And the polling with Harris has plateaued. Right now, the real clear politics average and most things that I look at that I think are credible is it's a dogfight. It's neck and neck here in Pennsylvania. And it's going to come down to probably even fewer votes than the last time. All right, let's go to Linda Kearns here and then take some of your calls on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Linda, welcome back in. Glad they featured you. What were you talking about?
Yeah, how about that, Dom? I'm really moving up in the world. Saturday, I spoke at the Trump rally. Today, my opening act is Mike Opelka.
There you go. Yes, that's right.
I really rank now.
Do you play golf?
No, I don't. But I heard you speak to him, so I'm glad that he.
One more for the foursome.
Yeah, we need somebody for the foursome. I don't think Scott Presler plays either, Dan. So we can't flesh that out. And Dan certainly is not a golfer.
I'm garbage.
No, not a golfer. So, Linda, what were you brought in to talk about?
Right, yeah. So I spoke at the Trump rally in Wilkes-Barre on Saturday. I was one of the pre-program speakers, and that just shows how much the RNC is stressing the importance of election integrity, because they specifically wanted an attorney to speak about what's going on here in Pennsylvania, and I got up. And by the way, there was a red carpet. Remember last time I was on your show, we talked about how I should have a red carpet? There was definitely a red carpet up onto the podium. So I think the Secret Service is listening to you. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we had J.D. Vance on today. So, yeah, we're in Eric Trump tomorrow. Eric Trump listens. He'll get you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that.
I heard you talk to J.D. Vance. And what, I had to get up and I spoke in front of thousands and thousands of people. I think that arena holds maybe 10,000 people. But Dom, it wasn't that hard because I was making my remarks. No one was shouting questions back at me, unlike what J.D. Vance had to endure today with a pretty hostile press shouting questions back at him. And I think that that's something that people should remember. Kamala Harris, it doesn't seem like she wants to answer any questions. It's great to get up and talk from prepared remarks, but it's another thing to actually answer questions.
Well, I think the Walls guy would do even worse. That guy, if he had those questions that Vance had today, is going to butcher them. So, Linda, you're there to convince him then that here are the things that are going on. This is a big improvement. I really wanted to underscore it because in the past, President Trump has been all over the place. So this is the RNC telling 10,000 people or thereabouts, hey, you got to tell people We're on it this time. People like Linda Kearns are on it. You know the faith I have in you. And on the other end, Presler, what he's doing is so much better than the last time. If you want to be those people, I mean, I had people inundating me this week saying, what about in the post office? Can you guarantee what's happening there? If I could, I would be down there myself. But as much as humanly possible, this is such an improvement.
Absolutely. And that was part of my message, that this is a new Republican Party. And I think I've said that on your show before, that Chairman Watley, who was there and spoke after me, so I was the lead-in for him, he and Laura Trump have brought an energy to this party that I've never seen before. And I have the resources, and there's a huge staff who is training people, recruiting people, and I'm asking your listeners again, go to protectthevote.com and sign up, protectthevote.com, because I need people. I need our guys to watch those guys, and it's so important. Don't just sit around and complain about it. Go to protectthevote.com and give up your day on Election Day to volunteer for President Trump. He needs us. He needs all of us.
So, Linda, you also got to speak to President Trump, so give us an idea what that was like.
Right. So I didn't even realize that was going to happen. So after we spoke, but before he got up, they brought us all to the back, and he took the individual pictures with everyone, and he spoke briefly to everyone, and that was really great. And I can't say exactly what he said because technically he is my client, so I can't really reveal what we talked about. But he's just really great in person, exactly how he is when he's on stage or when you see him on TV. He's great. And one of the best things about the rally is he brought this man on stage named Daniel, who was from Venezuela and who talked about how his family had to endure this switch from socialism to communism, and how his grandfather had come from Cuba and warned, hey, this is coming to Venezuela. It's coming. And people didn't believe him. And it came. And his message was, don't let them tell you it will never happen, because it happened to me in Venezuela. And I thought that was such a powerful message when we have the other side talking about all these socialist policies.
Without a doubt, Linda, and I wanted listeners to know, when you see something out there, because, vigilance is what's needed here with the other side, like these doctors. Remember, we talked about that. Some of them at mental institutions that are trying to register voters. You're on it. You're trying to get to the bottom of their ballot harvesting, et cetera. So I think it's pretty safe to say we're not going to wake up a month or 2 months from now and suddenly they had Zuckerbucks or something of that nature. They're doing enough stuff. I think Montgomery County is just as pushing the envelope as outrageously as Philadelphia, for example.
Right. Well, I just found out today that there was only 2 counties that didn't take the funds from the Commonwealth. So that means 65 out of the 67 counties will have to count their ballots starting at 7 a.m. on Election Day and continuing 24/7 until it's finished. So that's important. There won't be all those breaks and stops. And I think that really caused people to be suspicious. So that's a great thing that's happening. And again, I need people. I need people to watch at the canvas. I need people in the polling places. If I have an opening in your division, no matter what county you live in, it's not just Philadelphia. We're looking for all over the Commonwealth. Then we can place you as an election board worker. If there's not an opening there, we'll place you as a poll watcher, because we really need people to watch what's going on. That's how we keep this fair. And yesterday we had a training. We have trainings 3 times a week for both the political side, the people who get out the vote, and also the workers and the poll watchers that we recruit. And I got on the training. By the way, Riley Gaines, who I know has been on your show, she was a guest speaker on the training. And then I got on and I just answered people's questions. And they were so thankful to know that someone is working on all of these issues that concerns everybody. So I really want to assure everyone.
Just a parting area. I feel pretty secure in anything. Now, you're actually on the ground, but Chester County, Bucks County, strong Republican Party in Bucks, and Chester seems okay. Montgomery County, as I said, is Little Philadelphia. But Delaware County, there's a hotbed of activists pushing back on stuff. You have any sense of Delaware County this time around? Will there be as much of that going on?
Well, we are definitely recruiting poll watchers and attorneys and poll workers for Delaware County. So that's something we are absolutely on top of. We're not assuming, we can leave anything unwatched or untouched. Every county is important, and we want poll watchers in every division in every county, and that's our goal. And that's why I keep coming on your show and taking up your listeners' time, because I really need everyone to go to protectthevote.com and sign up. Absolutely. Linda, thank you. Anytime. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Linda Kearns here, protectthevote.com. You heard that. And that's Laura Trump and Whatley. Bring her in front of a major Trump rally to tell them, here's what we're doing. Yes. Dan, you just saw this one. I'll play it now so I don't forget. This Representative Takano speaking to the Asian Pacific Islander group.
Yes.
And I think she made the point. Remember when Bill Clinton was called the first black president? Remember how ridiculous that was?
Ridiculous clip.
Yeah, ridiculous. She cites that. And Tim Walz is going to be the first Chinese-American president. Does he eat with chopsticks? What's the reason for that? Here's what Representative Takano said.
Hello, Democrats. It's hard to remember this, but before we had the real black president, remember when Bill Clinton was supposedly the first black president? Well, Tim Walz is going to be the first Chinese vice president of our country. When he broke out in Mandarin with me like 5 years ago, my jaw dropped. I said, really?
Yeah, I can see Tim Walz being fluent in Mandarin. Well, he is, Dan. That's why, because he's not the first Chinese-American president. He's the first communist Chinese-backed stooge that would be vice president. This guy has more suspect stuff with China than anybody we've ever seen.
Can Trump win moderates by turning the economy about China?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that more has to be prosecuted here with this guy, and it should come up in the debate. Either they bring it up or you bring it up. All right. Right now, though, it is time, our daily what?
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Big prize today.
Oh, big prize. Yes. I'm a fan. I don't know about the Carly Simon stuff, but you can win a pair of tickets today to see James Taylor at the Mann Center in Philadelphia on August 30th. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com.
Gonna do a theme this week for these James Taylor tickets because I want them to go to actual fans of James Taylor.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play back songs that Mr. Taylor is known for in different languages throughout the week.
Oh, God.
With varying degree of difficulty. Today we're gonna start with an easy one, but as we go, we'll go deeper cuts in different languages of James Taylor. What I want the listener to do to win the tickets is call in the name of the song that's being sung here in a different language that was originally a James Taylor song. Dom, first off, we have a big one. Take a listen.
Cruzando las aguas de un río escuchó las voces del viento con negros presagios. No las sigas, no vale la pena, muchacho. Huyó de tu lado buscando otro amor.
Very well-known melody, Dom.
We want to know the name of the language. I'm all over the map with this one. All right.
Well, I'll tell you the language, Dom. It's in Spanish. The language is Spanish today, and we just want to know the name of the song that's being sung in Spanish today.
Okay.
There you go.
That should be a layup then. 855-839-1210. Be the first one in with the correct answer. You're off to see James Taylor. Please, you got to be a fan, though. So come on. It's not hogging you. Jump in if you're a fan. This is a big ticket item here. Pair of tickets. 855-839-1210 will come to you next on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210's huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Let me tell you about my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneri, a great guy. Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, or implant dentistry, look no further. Dr. Veneri and his award-winning team, they have your whole family covered, just like mine. Dr. Veneri's office exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control with centralized UV sterilization of airflow to ensure your safety. Locations right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. All right, let's hear the song again. We know the language. It's Spanish. It's James Taylor. What's the song, Dan?
Óyeme blanca luna, dime por qué se me fue.
Now, don't give me the answer, but do you know it, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
It might be too easy. This one.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. We can always count on one or two wrong. You'll win a pair of tickets, James Taylor Mann Center on August 30th. Howard in Levittown. Howard, what's the song?
Sweet Baby James.
Yes, it is. Are you a fan of Taylor?
More or less. I mean, I'll keep him tuned, definitely.
All right, we'll put you on hold, Howard. Good stuff. Yeah, August 30th. The Mann Center in Philadelphia. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com.
Another guy that uses initials, JT there too, James Taylor,
JT,
in the world of music. But all week, Dom, we're going to be having these tickets, so stay tuned. If you're a James Taylor fan around this time, we'll be doing the same thing all week, a song in a different language. And as we go on this week, we'll get harder and harder with songs deeper and deeper. So
by the time we
tuned.
get to Friday, it'll be in Sanskrit. So we'll need to call in experts from somewhere in the world to jump on that. All right. So if you missed it, by the way, today, we had J.D. Vance on. That gives us a side question. Great stuff from him. You heard Linda Kearns, too. Some of those cuts from the local Philadelphia media, they're not asking questions if they get Walls up there. You know, everybody's talking about Harris. Okay, what about Walls? When is Walls going to take a question? He's folksy. He can handle anything. You heard that Representative Takano. You know what that remark's about? This guy is into communist China. How in the world are we putting someone a heartbeat away from the presidency potentially that is such a fan of communist China? And if you said, well, I'm not a fan of communist China, I'm a fan of China. Well, it's communist China now, buddy. Tell that to the people in Hong Kong, you moron. This might be the biggest thing of all here. I mean, there's so much stuff that I would tell Vance to engage with him on China, because I think what Walz will do is start to say, well, shouldn't we be friends? No, they're the enemy. I don't care. That's a winning message for America. China, under the Communist Chinese Party, is the enemy. They gave the world COVID. They didn't care. They decimated people. They're moving on us in this country around the clock educationally. There's TikTok. Not supposed to say that anymore, Dom. Their military buildup. They're building artificial islands in the middle of the China Sea and Pacific Ocean to say that's their territorial land. How much do you need to wake up to what they mean and what they're about? 855-839-12. Can we at least agree they're the enemy? Not to Walz. Been there, 30 times over the years? And that's why this Representative Takano is given a tip of the hat, the first Chinese-American president. Let's play with that. That's not a mark of honor. I don't know how the people that are Chinese-Americans feel in this country about China. I can't imagine they feel that friendly. If they do, well, I part company anyhow. I see clearly the enemy. This is a gathering storm. This is Winston Churchill. This is years and years and years of this. And Walz is in the center of this, putting a happy face on it. Just the simplest thing, free Hong Kong, Daryl Morey, when he was with Houston, that the NBA loses hundreds of millions of dollars with them. They're playing hardball. You remember all that went into that. We don't want to talk about that, but Major League Baseball couldn't play the All-Star game in Atlanta, if you remember. Why? Because in Georgia, they put in sensible reforms around the issue of voting that worked in 2022, that people seem to have no problem with, other than people that want to cheat. But this guy and China, this is an issue. Let's have this debate on it. Really? There's another side to it? I don't think you'd get Takano on, Dan, but I don't think Takano would say that China is the enemy. I don't even think they'd say they're an adversary. The more we can do to decouple our economy and everything else from the Chinese, that has to be the job. That means no farmland in this country. Get the hell out. That means they've sent another balloon over. We're shooting it down as quickly as possible. That means we're sending a message. We're going to beat you. You're not going to outrun us in whatever clock you have. What are we afraid of with them? They are still the lesser at this point. But by all these tactics, they gain. And this guy is some fan of all this. On their dime, he goes to China. He has gone umpteen number of times, taking high school students to China. I wonder if they went to Wuhan. I wonder what they think about COVID. Well, we know what his posture was during COVID. It resembled the communist Chinese. Still working on the paintball thing. To have cops shoot paintballs at them. Well, that was during the George Floyd summer. Shoot paintballs at them to make them go back inside. It's almost hard to believe what this guy crawls with.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, I mean, with Harris, we know how challenged she is. This guy wouldn't be challenged to answer. It's that his answers would blow up. He is the Manchurian candidate. You know, all that folksy Midwest stuff, which you and I see, and it's ridiculous. We're not afraid of this guy's masculinity, Dan. Can you imagine this guy? Why don't we have a wrestling match with J.D. Vance and this guy then? This guy's masculinity.
Yeah, sure.
Just run right at him on the stage. Take that, you communist Chinese.
Guy oozes avocado.
Yes. Oh, my God. And then the wife, what a piece of work. Let's smell the burning tires. She goes to China with him. They honeymoon there. Come on, Ro. China's great this time of the year. Oh, my God. I think this is one of the things under... By the way, the people that are benefiting the most in this whole DNC convention, are the Chicago board up people. There's a company there. They're all over the place. Nice boarding, too. It looks like the paneling you would put into your rec room rather than the usual bulky stuff. They must have a lot of need of this in Chicago because these look very nice, Dan, what they've set up. They've even put it around elevators. And one thing I'm looking at here, oh, my God. 855-839-1210. You get on board. You can jump in. So J.D. Vance today, great stuff. Eric Trump be on the show tomorrow. And we're looking to see the big story, tonight, memory lane with Biden. Is Biden going to be assuaged by this? Now the story is several people. Now it's just speculation. I don't see quite the upside. But there's speculation that Democrats are mulling over making Kamala Harris the president before the election, citing the 25th Amendment. Now, is that going to play well? Are Democrats, do they have it in them? They are that ruthless. But would that backfire? To say, look, we jumped in, put her in this race. Biden shouldn't be president. This is too risky. Make her president, then she's an incumbent. Downside of that, big downside, is she already owns Bidenomics and everything else. How are they going to make her president? Pritzker, the billionaire host, this morning, talking about how perfect Chicago is to show the Democrat agenda. Think about that. 33 people shot over the weekend in Chicago. As bad as Philadelphia has been with Krasner, I mean, they are remarkable in Chicago how bad it is.
Choice.
Yeah, it's one of the few. I wouldn't want to go to Chicago in all this. I'm looking at this paneling. It's great paneling in front of a Staples there. They're not taking any chances once the mob
so it's
starts.
just weird. I was in Indiana for 10 years.
Right.
Total. I had a desire to go to Chicago once, and it was to see a Cubs game. I didn't go back. I was 3.5 hours away. That's how.
And what was the problem with it?
I had no desire to go to Chicago. Okay. Like, do you? And is that weird if you live that close and just
no? I wouldn't. Ro was bugging me though. She wanted to go to Chicago.
Really?
Go figure. Yeah, I don't get it.
It was really cool seeing Wrigley. I got to tell you that.
Yeah, I've heard that, but it's dangerous.
I want to go touch the bean.
No, and the Magnificent Mile that they apparently have there, I just see that as where gangs are going to come marauding in at any second.
And the building formerly known as Sears Tower?
Sears Tower,
it's not Sears Tower anymore.
What is it now?
What is it now? I don't know. Willis Tower.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. We'll take
doesn't have the same ring.
We'll take your answer on the side question. Hey, quick reminder, Eric Trump on the show tomorrow, but Don Trump Jr. is coming to town. All you have to do is check out 1210's WPHT Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or go to 1210WPHT.com, and you're going to see a big sale that we have going on. Big discount on tickets to Politics and Pints. I mean, very, very nice discount they've come up with for Don Trump Jr. on Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium with me. Dan will be there. Ro will be there in Collingswood, New Jersey. Take a look at that, and I think, you'll think, wow, that's a really good deal. If you looked at it before is what I'm saying, and you were considering now this, all you do is put in FLASH as the promo code, and you got a great deal. We're looking forward to this. That'll be 2 days after the debate. I'm hoping, Dan, to get into the spin room. I'll tell you about that. I didn't even tell you today about that. I did that once before during the Hillary Obama debate in the basement of the Constitution
How'd you
Center.
Make it in there?
I weaseled in there, and I tell you, I got Ed Rendell, who was huge at that point, and these national people are all over me saying, what's this guy doing? And I have to scream back, I'm the one that got Ed Rendell. Move back.
Piece of advice?
Yes.
Bring a ladder. You're going to see walking anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly, like if you walk with a ladder and act like you know you're there.
Oh, that's how you get in.
Questions.
No, we got in there. It was with the national media, et cetera, and it was only Hillary and Obama, and it was incredible. M. Night Shyamalan was there. I told you that. We chased him down the hallway. Yeah. So, well, you'll be there if this works out. I'm just telling you now.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. You're
like
quarterbacking
this,
it. Yeah. You never know. Now, this is a presidential debate, though.
So is there an audience?
No, it is all like the networks and then, and this was in the relatively early days of the spin room. There were celebrities. They were big-time pundits. There were all the national pundits. Now I'm told, like Hulk Hogan could show up there or something.
Ooh.
You know, that type of thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm in if that's the case.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as I tell you, we were buttonholing people, and M. Night Shyamalan did not want to be buttonholed. And he started running, like jogging to the different direction of the convention center. And we were trying to cut him off in the pass. So I'm working on it. We'll see what happens. If it happens, though, for this one, anybody could.
Do you know if this debate they're going to have an audience?
Yeah, I believe there's an audience for this debate. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and the convention center is pretty cavernous, so you can have a pretty big audience there. All right, coming to you on the side question, we want to get some initials today. Hit us with those. Let's talk batteries plus bulbs first in Mount Laurel and Northfield. My friend Roy is looking for help. He's a great guy to work with and for. Batteries plus bulbs, as Roy often says, look, just tell people what we do. We fix it, we power it, and we light it. Your phone, if you're in a business thing, these are the guys you want to know. They don't take no for an answer as far as getting to the bottom of it. Customer service, this is some of the best that I've ever seen, and listeners have told me the same thing. Now, they're looking for help, though. A handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. Great, low-pressure, part-time job. It could be full-time if you want. Customer service, key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. You can do that right now. Call him at 856-638-0778. 2 big stores, and, of course, they have everything, batteries plus bulbs you'll want, Mount Laurel and Northfield. Here's that phone number, 856-638-0778.
Monday, more rain possible with a high of 84. And on Tuesday, we're only going to get up to 75.
Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group. During the Honda Summer Event, get financing as low as 1.9% APR for 48 months on select new models. Visit Piazza Honda of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield, or online at piazzahonda.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors, like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
If the summer heat hasn't convinced you to replace your old windows and doors, then maybe my good friends at Guided Door and Window can help by giving you an extra month to do so at their best prices of the year. Take advantage of Guida's big summer sale and receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all expertly installed high-performance triple-pane windows. And 40% off any high-quality door, including insulated entry doors, sliding patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can easily buy now and pay later with Guida's low monthly payment plans or interest-free financing up to 18 months. Don't wait until fall like everyone else to replace your windows and doors. You need to go Guida right now so you can take advantage of these huge savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires at the end of August. So call Guida today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA. Or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey.
All right, Dom Giordano program coming to you, and we'll get on the side question. Couple of things. 2 disturbing trends in weddings. One, charging people to come to your wedding. Oh, my God. Oh, it's Bidenomics. I could understand that. Put Bidenomics on there. You have to pay.
Yeah.
And 2, you can't text people. Texting people to keep the date and then the wedding
Why
date
not?
in. No, you can't do that.
Text them a link to the knot.
No, you have to send out the formal thing and all. Everybody expects a wedding invitation. Then we send an RSVP back. Oh, my God.
I think we're at the point where we can just text them.
So I don't
think... But they're paying for the wedding. That's ridiculous.
I don't think Maisie would go along with the texting.
Yeah.
Too informal. Come on. Takes away the beauty of the ceremony.
Yeah.
Probably ends in divorce if you're texting. I think
wow,
that's
that's
been
a very extreme thing to say.
That's been established, I think. That's what happens. All right, let's go to Rick in Norristown on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Rick, welcome in.
Hello.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Dom, as much as you complain about it, you would love Chicago because it's a wonderful place to visit. There's a lot of great Italian restaurants. The river area, the lake area is beautiful. Much nicer than, say, Philadelphia's riverfront. And I didn't know anything about it until my kids went to school there. And it's just, like any big city, there are many wonderful places. There are some that you have no business going to.
Okay.
So you shouldn't. But there's a lot of wonderful things to do there that you would truly enjoy. So don't kill it completely, even if it is run by some, clownish types. I'll be kind. But the area itself is wonderful. Now, having said that, okay, it's going to be interesting to see how they play this week. But Trump needs to do what he's usually doing, which is just stay focused on the issues and let this thing blow up. Some of the things that are starting to come out now, I think, will eventually bury Harris.
I do too, Rick. Got anybody with initials for today on the side question?
Well, unless it's already been taken off, how can we forget Philly phenom JT Realmuto?
All right, there's a very good one. Great answer. Thank you, Rick. And said Realmuto, right, which is hard to do at times.
Did you know?
All right. Yeah. No, that's a good one. All right, 855-839-1210. I should have taken this one off. Mike in Nottingham. All right, Mike, what's yours?
Hey, how you doing, big guy? Well, suffering succotash, it's got to be W.C. Fields with the pork chops and applesauce.
Yeah, and that's one of the first guys that I remember that had the initials as a name, Dan, way back when, W.C. Fields.
Yeah.
First prize was a week in Philadelphia. Second prize was 3 weeks in Philadelphia. He had a thing about Philadelphia. He was way ahead of his, didn't even know about Krasner. All right, 855-839-1210. Dan, if they want that interview with J.D. Vance, where do they go at this point?
1210WPHT.com, and I'll post it up on at Dom Show 1210 as well.
Yeah, it was good stuff. J.D. Vance did go, and he went to Pat's King of Steaks. I don't know what happened with Geno's. It used to be where Republicans
really, though?
went.
Why, Pat?
Yeah, well, at least
it's
Trump
good, but it's
went to, it's stereotype.
Yeah.
What's the name? Trump went to, where's that other place? Tony and Nick's. I don't know these places, but man, if Joey Vento were alive in the middle of this with Trump and everything else, Dan, I can't tell you.
Tommy and Nick's? Is that what it says?
Tony and Nick's.
Tony and Nick's.
Tony and Nick's.
I don't know what that is.
That's the Inquirer. Again, they messed up. Okay.
No. It says Tony and Nick's Steaks. I didn't know about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oregon Avenue.
They do reference John Kerry went there, resulting in a culinary gaffe where he ordered a steak with Swiss cheese and then put the hoagie on top of it. Oh, man, that guy. And that may have sunk him right there. All right, you get on board at 855-839-1210. By the way, get a lot of people wanting to know when we're coming back to Mulligan's. That should be announced pretty soon, but it'll be in August, and it'll be our final fling there, and I hope it's on a Friday, which we really like. We'll give you details as it comes up. Dan and I are working on some of the folks that will stop by, but if you've never been or you've been, Johnny Z is the perfect host, and it's legendary. I was telling someone today the greatest Mulligan's, though, was last year in July when we were without power. The rest of the island, everything shut down, but our engineer, Dan, and people back here kept us on the air and kept Mulligan's going as like this beacon out there. Dan, I was thinking about that because not good news, and you would think they'd have a backup plan. Did you see the bridge to Cape May is now out because the motor is gone?
Oh, no.
That small, tiny bridge that goes over. Yeah, but apparently that's an evacuation point on the island.
People over?
They've shut it down. And apparently they're searching the world for a motor that matches that. So I just said, well, why didn't they keep it shut? Apparently it malfunctioned. Ships can still go through there.
How about a ferry?
Yeah, you could take a ferry, sure.
Ferry ride.
I don't know if it's more crowded or not. I just know we'll be in Mulligan's. And
that's really unfortunate, though, on a serious note.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That is, I'm not, I guess it's hard to have a backup motor, but you would think.
Well, you got to think these things were engineered how long ago that they've probably fallen out of fashion at this point.
Yeah, but you still have to have one, right? To think that something could happen, particularly, it's a vacation hub. I'm not a fan of the mayor of Wildwood Crest. The other two mayors, great, but Wildwood Crest, that's the guy who wanted you to show papers during COVID to get in. Not good.
So this is going to take weeks to repair.
Yeah, that attitude's not so good either. We ought to be saying we're going to move heavy. I mean, what would Josh Shapiro, to his credit, within a week would have that bridge fixed. That's the way I admire that. Now, the fact that he's not being truthful, that he was kept off the ticket because anti-Semitism, well, that's something else. The protesters gathering in Chicago. So we'll see what they do on the first day. And in the lead, if you can imagine, the anti-Israel lead, Gays for Gaza, and the LGBTQ crowd. Who would be, you can imagine what would happen with them dealing with Hamas. All right, 855-839-1210. It is the lightning round next. We'll have that here on Talk Radio 1210.
My dreams come true. I was taken.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
What happens when Washington liberals spend trillions of dollars? Just look around. Prices are way up. They pushed a bunch of reckless spending, and Senator Bob Casey voted for it. Now we're paying higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, and higher utility bills. Casey helped create this mess by voting with President Biden 98% of the time, including voting for trillions in wasteful spending. Instead of listening to the warnings, Senator Casey sided with the liberals, causing this inflation disaster. Casey voted to let illegals take your tax dollars. He voted to let illegals collect $500 million in COVID relief checks. It's more for illegals and less for us. Come on, Senator Casey. That's just not right. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, OneNationAmerica.org.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Sunday storms in the area caused flooding, knocked down trees, and created issues at the airport.
The Philly School District Superintendent says student test scores are improving, but he still wants to see more progress. And the Sixers fixed up a basketball court in Camden and promised more renovations to come.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
See Joe Conklin in the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
For some jobs around the house, it's okay to do it yourself. For others, not so much. Like your water heater. Replacing a water heater should only be done by a plumbing professional who can provide a safe installation for you and your family. For a long-lasting, reliable water heater, ask your pro about Bradford White. How you heat your water matters, and Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best for years of dependable service. To learn more and find an installation pro near you, visit bradfordwhite.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
I see a couple potential winners out there we should have taken off, Dan. Coming off J.D. Vance, a big interview today, thanks to Dan. Tomorrow, Eric Trump. Initials is what we're looking for. Hey, Dom's Lightning Round is sponsored every day by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, Cherry Hill Volvo is offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any in-stock 2024 XC90 hybrid. They always go the extra mile for their customers at Cherry Hill Volvo. Let's start off with Joe in Columbus, New Jersey. It's a pretty good one. Been in the news. Joe, who's yours?
Tom, quick comment first.
Sure.
I looked at Waltz as initially as the second coming of Tim Kaine, but now people got to know that Taiwan's in trouble with this guy. That's the instability that's going to happen here.
No, this guy crawls with it. So more research needs to be for this Takano person to call him the Chinese American president. Wow, that's a mistake to be emphasizing that.
And they got their sights all set on that island. Believe me.
Oh yeah.
Mine is probably the second biggest enigma and mystery outside of Jimmy Hoffa, which is D.B. Cooper.
Oh yeah, big one. Absolutely. Joe in Exton. Let's see if he's on brand today. It's a pretty good one. Hey, Joe, good Monday. What do you have?
Yes, hello, Dom, and good Monday afternoon to you. My person who has initials in their name is the woman author of the book Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer, Joe. Yeah.
Joe, are you a fan of Harry Potter? Do you read that by the fire ever?
No.
Thank you,
Too highbrow for it, apparently.
Yeah, but J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, and then being one of the few people they haven't been able to cancel, even though they've tried. She's been outspoken. And Dan, it's worse. She's in Europe. She's in UK or Scotland, whatever it is. And there, it's a hate crime to say what she's saying, apparently.
Yeah.
They still haven't been able to stop her. Dan, how did we forget this one, though? Don in Franconia. Ugh. Don, who's yours?
Hey,
Let's go, Dom, with O.J. Simpson, best friend.
Yes, O.J. Simpson, Dan. That's a big one. Authentic. Yeah. You're not impressed by that one. I thought that was a pretty impressive one. Yeah. Okay.
It's good.
How about Greta in Gloucester? This is one that was prominent for the last 100 years. Greta, who's yours?
That would be P.T. Barnum. And with the first name of Phineas, you understand why he would use his initials.
Yeah, I've always admired, thank you, Dan, people who have a first name. This woman that wrote, I won't say the last name, but the first name was Carmelita. And she just changed it to Lita Lavelle. And it wasn't Hollywood. It was just...
It's a very nice name.
Yes, from Carmelita, she just... Well, how about Rudolph?
Yeah.
Rudy. Even though he's in a bit of disrepair right now, Rudy is a great name.
My mom's got a unique name, Charmaine. Not many people have that one. She's embraced the heck out of that one, though.
She's kept the full name.
She goes by Char sometimes.
All right. Yeah. As you know, I never go by Dominic. Anybody that calls me Dominic, it's kind of like...
Yeah.
A little bit early today. What's happening with the music?
It is really early. Let me get something else going. It's actually too early. You're right.
Way too early. Gary in Newtown. We still got some folks to get in here to get a winner. Hey, Gary, what do you have today?
Hey, Dom, do you mind if I give you a 4-letter acronym of what Ben Carson and you were talking about, the medical health care in Canada? It's MAID, M-A-I-D, which stands for Medical Assistance in Dying. And if you can go to the government and say, hey, look, I can't wait this long. And they said, well, we can help you with assisted suicide. And that's a true story.
Gary, it's Liam Neeson. His wife was also an actress, right? Big time. They had a lot of money, if you remember this story, in Canada. So she got hit skiing. And because Canada didn't have what we have with Medicovac right here within 2 minutes of me, they had to wait and take a fixed-wing plane to get to the real hospital. And she sadly died. In the United States, she easily would have been saved.
I was unaware of that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
totally unaware of that.
If you Google that story, I tried hard to get them on. It was remarkable. With all that money, they were in a very remote area. That's how bad Canada is. But, Gary, what's yours for today?
I got a double header. It's AI. You can either take it as Allen Iverson or artificial intelligence. And if you ever watched Allen Iverson on the court, he is artificial intelligence.
All right, thank you. AI. Yeah, Dan, let him try to cross over on me. That's all I would say.
Oh, no, you're not. You're not.
I would get down low.
That's a bit over the line.
You know what the
You cannot take on an Allen Iverson crossover and not get your ankles broken.
You know what the key is? I know what I can do, and it's not as good as NBA players. So I'm going to give a lot of ground. And what I'm going to do is don't watch the ball when he goes between his legs and none of that matters to me.
There is no way you're not getting crossed up by Allen Iverson.
I'm telling you what happens. Defensive players watch the ball, and it's like a magician. They get all frazzled. You just focus on the belly button. Don't care what the ball does. Nothing matters except that.
No way.
All right. You can't move your belly button.
We have an Allen Iverson contact for a Mulligan's appearance.
Okay. Get Allen Iverson over to Mulligan's. We'll get a few vodkas in him, more than a few, and then outside, Dan, and we'll see what happens. Oh, my God. Can you imagine Johnny Z? Oh, Allen Iverson's coming.
Do you think you can compete with him on a one-on-one game? Or is it just the crossover you think you can take him on?
He hasn't played. I could take him down low, too. He's only about 5'10".
Oh, come on. No way.
He's not a defensive player. So, I don't think he can shoot anymore. So
Are you 100% serious right now? I can't tell.
Look, I would give it a try. All right, one more very quick one. Bruce in the Northeast. Bruce, what do you have today?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dominic. No, I mean Dom. I made a mistake. No, good Dom. Dom, this location was once called America's Playground, and that would be AC, Atlantic City, by this ocean.
Yeah, very good. L.A. and AC are the two, when I think of city names, abbreviated. Yeah.
I was thinking air conditioning.
Yeah, that too.
We're alternating current.
All right, Dan, we got some pretty good ones. We're going to do one in honor of Phil Donahue tomorrow, apparently, so be ready for that. Dan,
Early on, Alan Hamilton, great reasoning behind S.E. Hinton, saying during the time she had to use a name that would suggest she was a male to get her book picked up. W.E.B. Du Bois was a great one. W.C. Fields, O.J. Simpson you seem to like, but I like the Gary and Newtown one that just prompted you saying that you can beat him in a one-on-one game, essentially.
Yeah, that was a great call. Got me rolling. The juices are flowing here.
Gary Newtown goes into that.
Oh, man, if Allen Iverson hears that. I don't know if, we'll see if Jim does Allen Iverson tomorrow. We're flat out of time. Put that one into the hat. Remember, tomorrow, Eric Trump. And remember, Dan, we have those James Taylor tickets again tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Big-time stuff. Thank you, Walter Koss. Thanks to Jim. And Frank Canal for hooking me up today with the J.D. Vance interview. I was able to do that from the comfort of the Dom Dome. Tomorrow, we'll have that again. And again, follow on Twitter at Dom Show 1210. Richie always next from the Windy City for 4 big hours here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system is tried and true, outperforming the market through the worst of economic times, as it did for crash-proof consumer Larry Kipp. In 2007, Mr. Kipp's crash-proof system earned 15.8% interest, outperforming the S&P. When the crash of 2008 struck and the market dropped over 37%, his crash-proof system lost nothing. Mr. Kipp did not have to recover from the crash. His system credited 10.8% interest permanently to his account, as others tried to recoup what they already had.
People talking about all the money that they lost, and I could sit there and say, well, I didn't lose any. I knew that I couldn't lose principal, and so when the crash came, I knew my money was safe. I would say that there is a crash-proof retirement. I have proof of it.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.